Korean leader Kim Jong-un agreed to end the program during a June meeting with Trump in Singapore. Trump wrote in a series of tweets Friday afternoon, "I have asked Secretary of State Mike Pompeo not to go to North Korea at this time because I feel we are not making sufficient progress with respect to denuclearization of the Korean Peninsula. Additionally, because of our much tougher trading stance with China, I do not believe they are helping with the process of denuclearization as they once were, despite UN sanctions, which are in place." In 1999, Darryl W. Perry began a search for traditional values, which led him down a path to the ideas of liberty. He tells the story in A Rebel's Journey, My Path to Liberty. Of the book, Dr. Brian Sovereign says, "Sometimes it's funny, and sometimes I think it's crazy, but it's always authentic." Find A Rebel's Journey, My Path to Liberty by Darryl W. Perry on Facebook, read reviews on Amazon, ask for A Rebel's Journey wherever books are sold, or visit arebelsjourney.com. Reuters reports University of North Carolina police charged 3 people in connection with toppling of a Confederate soldier statue on the Chapel Hill campus, according to an official on Friday, as the school braces for another on-campus rally over the weekend. At a rally earlier this week, protesters used a rope to pull down the statue known as Silent Sam, erected in 1913 to honor soldiers of the Confederate States killed during the Civil War. Each of the 3 people faces misdemeanor charges of riot and defacing of a public monument, according to University police spokesman Randy Young. Young added that the 3 are not affiliated with the University of North Carolina. A police investigation may result in additional arrest. The incident was part of a movement to dismantle U.S. Civil War symbols that critics say glorify the South's legacy of slavery. Many Americans see statues such as Silent Sam as symbols of racism and a glorification of the South's defense of the institution of slavery. Supporters view the memorials as important symbols of American history. The university said in a statement on Friday that it expected a rally on Saturday on campus and in town, and it was working with local officials and local law enforcement to ensure safety. The university said, "We do not know for sure what groups may attend, but we are mindful that the current atmosphere is highly charged, urging people to stay away." Some students and others have received threats because of Monday's events. The university police reviewed video on Tuesday to identify the protesters who toppled the statue. The UNC board chair Harry Smith Jr. and President Margaret Spelling denounced the toppling of the statue. UNC system board member Tom Goolsby said in a statement on Thursday that the university will reinstall Silent Sam within 90 days as required by North Carolina state law. Campus police arrested at least 1 person at Monday's protest for wearing a mask and resisting arrest. That person was not among the 3 people charged with toppling the statue. This has been FPP Radio News. Online at fppradio.com.
According to a study released Thursday by the Princeton University Department of Biology, this local 2-year-old woodland chipmunk has crafted a far more secure and dependable plan for the future than 8 out of 10 Americans. Reporters spoke to citizens to get their view on the study.
Clearly, this chipmunk is pretty impressive. I mean, he wakes up every morning and says, "I need to collect acorns and berries for the winter." He sets goals for himself and he gets it done.
If he has to make a burrow in a tree stump, that's exactly what he does. He doesn't pause and have a snack and lay around for a few hours.
Out of nearly 40 separate interviews with Americans, 33 told reporters they were very impressed by the chipmunk's continued display of foresight, personal responsibility, and pragmatic decision-making when considering his own future.
He's preparing for winter, he's building a home, and he's trying to get enough nutrients to make it throughout the rest of the day. All this while being worried about maybe getting eaten by a wolf or an owl or something. Earlier this week, the electricity went off in my home because I forgot to pay my bill. It's the 2nd time this year.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
This is Free Talk Live. It's the live Saturday edition of the program. As always, you're invited to join us here. The toll-free number where you can take control of the airwaves is 855-450-FREE, like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. Plus, there's our Discord on-air call-in line rooms that are open and available to you over at discord.lrn.fm. You'll need the Discord app first, which you can easily get and install and create an account. You're good to go. And then go to discord.lrn.fm. With you tonight, it's Ian.
And Mark.
So there's interesting news coming out of Atlanta where a school has now reversed its course after initially announcing that they were going to eliminate the morning Pledge of Allegiance. But they were going to move it, I guess would be a better way to put it. They're going to move the Pledge of Allegiance to a later point in the day. So I'm going to share the story here from Arlinda Smith Brody at the Atlanta Journal-Constitution, where an Atlanta charter school has moved the timing, or did move the timing, of its recitation of the Pledge of Allegiance as the school year started, but reversed course after the move attracted criticism. The Atlanta neighborhood charter school's early all-school meeting of students and parents had traditionally included the pledge until this year. Elementary campus principal Laura Zelski notified parents that the pledge was being moved to classrooms because of concerns from some parents and students. She explained, quote, "Over the past couple of years, it has become increasingly obvious that more and more of our community were choosing to not stand and or recite the pledge. There are many emotions around this, and we want everyone in our school family to start their day in a positive manner. After all, that is the whole purpose of our morning meeting." And I gotta say, if it just ended there, I would have been super excited about this news, right? The idea that government bureaucrats who for decades have been indoctrinating...
These are charter schools. They're not exactly government bureaucrats.
It's government funded, though.
That's true.
These government funded people, these government schools, have been indoctrinating the youth of America with this socialist pledge, the Pledge of Allegiance, for decades. For generations.
Could you defend it being socialist for me?
Yes, it was written by, a Christian socialist named Francis Bellamy in the 1800s.
A flag salesman.
He was.
Yeah, I mean...
And a socialist.
Yeah,
and it's just straight up...
When you say socialist, he probably more closely tracked against the National Socialists, which ended up becoming
like a Nazi.
The Nazis. So probably more fascist. Things were different back then.
Well, right. Everybody was a socialist back then.
Nationalism was hot, and that's the whole thing. They wanted to solve all their problems by getting everybody to work together by liking flags.
But it was all about indoctrination and belief in the state. And so if this was just the news that the school had eliminated the pledge because they were actually responding to some sort of input from the marketplace where they're seeing people not participate and respecting that, because normally you hear about if there's one kid that sits down during the pledge, they'll get threatened by the teacher. They'll be sent to detention, sent to the principal's office.
That happened at my school for kids, yeah.
Yeah, it happened to me when I refused to say the pledge back in high school. And so if it ended there, that would have been great. But unfortunately, it didn't end there, because instead of having the Pledge of Allegiance, she proposed creating a school pledge. So to replace the Pledge of Allegiance with a different pledge, which would be a pledge for the all-school meeting. So apparently they have in the mornings, they have some sort of all-school meeting at this particular charter school. I don't know what it was like when you went to school, but when I did, we had this homeroom class, which was the first class of the day, and that's where the pledge
They did that
was set.
Some of the time that I went to school, but not all of the time that I went to school.
But it was usually the first class. Was it first class for you where they said the pledge?
Yes.
Right. So this is more like a full school meeting.
But they didn't do that. They didn't say the pledge every day.
Really?
Every year that I went to school.
Really?
Yeah.
They sure as hell did at my school. All of them.
Yeah.
That I went to. She proposed creating the school pledge for the all-school meeting based on, quote, students' civic responsibility to their school family, community, country, and our global society. So that just took some good news and made it even worse by adding in a global society, world government pledge here, essentially, to these schools.
I think that the only flag I've ever burned was a UN flag.
I was there for that. I did one of those too.
More or less, most of the people that will defend a pledge will not defend a new pledge. So
sure, they like their pledge.
They'll only defend the old pledge because argumentum antiquum. Right,
that's the pledge I did when I was a kid, and that's the way it ought to stay forever.
Pledges are good. Of course, the pledge has been changed from its original form. Francis Bellamy did not include "under God" in the pledge.
Oh, really?
That was added in the 1950s under the Eisenhower administration. The same time they put "In God We Trust" on the money
currency.
But it seems like it's always been there by pretty much everybody who's alive now, because they're kind of small changes, and who doesn't like to toss God in places? So I would say that essentially you're not going to get very many people here that want to add pledge upon pledge to kids, mourning, rituals, but they'll, by and large, defend the old pledge because that's the pledge from before. And, even though the country was founded, among other things, on the notion of not having to take loyalty oaths, and that the pledge is basically a loyalty oath, and it is fundamentally anti-American.
Let's talk more about it coming up here. I got Chuck on the line to start things out. By the way, our toll-free number, if you want to comment on this, you're welcome to. Our number is 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. Chuck in Indy, listening to WIBC-FM. Hey, Chuck. Chuck. Do we have Chuck?
Sorry for asking that question.
There you are. I'm sorry. You were kind of cut off there at the beginning. Go ahead. We've got you now.
I'm really confused by your stance on this because I understand that maybe a person does not agree with the Pledge of Allegiance, but then at the same time, when they say that they have their own version of a Pledge of Allegiance, in the Pledge of Allegiance, you're not doing anything other than stating that you will stand for the republic in which you live in and for what it stands, which is the freedom for what this woman's trying to say that she wants to create on her own anyway. That this person wants to create a pledge. I'm not saying that I don't like your pledge. I like my pledge. What I'm saying is why would you say that you don't believe in the Pledge of Allegiance and that it's un-American, but then support someone for creating a pledge?
Oh, I don't support
it. I think that the idea
I'm against both.
This is clearly indoctrination.
And I don't think that it's and I don't believe that it's un-American.
Sure, let me defend that.
Men that founded this, most of the people that founded this country were Masons who took a pledge to join the Masonic Temple.
Sure,
so
they took
these pledges are.
They took that.
Nothing new under the sun.
Sure. If you'll read Murray Rothbard's Conceived in Liberty, you'll see that from 1640 through 1776, there were multiple revolutions. Many of those revolutions had to do with loyalty oaths to the mother country, England. The idea of taking a loyalty oath to a nation was antithetical to. Remember, there was no United States for these people. There was Massachusetts and Pennsylvania and Maryland. Mm-hmm. These were the countries. They're called states for a reason.
Differ.
No.
I would beg to differ. I believe that was what the whole intent was when the Revolutionary War was fought in the first place, was to combine those colonies and to form them into one republic.
Nope.
So
when you talk about
at that point could form their own law.
You can see you can see up to the Civil War that essentially the armies were these militias that would be raised by the states. For instance, in the Civil War,
that's only something that was guaranteed in our Bill of Rights, that we would be able to form state militia. At the time, the federal government was only to provide protection, and there was no taxation otherwise. So there was always an idea of a federal government.
Sure, I didn't claim that there wasn't an idea of a federal government. What I'm claiming is
there's no idea of a federal government when you say that there's no nationalism.
No.
If there's no federal government, then there is no nationalism, is what you're saying.
No, what I'm saying...
There is nationalism and always has been.
Okay. Again.
And that was the intent. And that was their intent.
People identified with their states far more than they identified with the federal government up to the American Civil War. And then at that point...
When states' rights were completely taken away.
Right.
And that's what the Civil War was about states' rights.
Well, it was about slavery too.
So, Chuck, I want you to hang on here because you misunderstood. You don't have to hang on if you don't want to, but you misunderstood. You said that we supported the pledge, the replacement pledge, and neither Mark or I support either of the pledges, either the Pledge of Allegiance or the replacement one that this charter school wanted to come up with, swearing an oath to a global society and the school family. More coming up. Free Talk Live.
From the second letter of Captain Mark. Any pirate knows that commerce is communication. Markets condense oceans of information into a single price. Innovations in communication are circumventing the scrutiny of the crown. This signals a change in the coin of the realm. The crown uses digital currency to surveil, censor, seize, and destroy wealth at will, so pirate currency must protect us from this weaponized money. We need to move funds further, faster, cheaper, and without third-party observation, basing decisions on an accelerating flow of information. So pirates require nearly instantaneous transactions with no arbitrary limits on volume or artificial influences on fees. Most importantly, a pirate currency must preclude centralization. Otherwise, it will become another link in our chain to the crown. A superior currency will result in the obsolescence of the coin of the realm and the extinction of the crown itself. Trade above the grid. Join us at pirateswithoutborders.com.
I've said it many times on air, and I'll say it here. The New Hampshire Liberty Alliance is one of the most important organizations for freedom in the world. New Hampshire is ground zero for freedom, and the NHLA is the best organization at promoting effective liberty activism. This ad is sponsored by Free Talk Live, and I, Mark Edge, am a lifetime member because I believe in the NHLA. Please check them out at nhliberty.org. Not everyone can move right now, but you can support the cause. Donate top cryptocurrencies or old-fashioned U.S. dollars, nhliberty.org. Visit their website and see what they're all about, nhliberty.org.
Zencash is now Horizon. Horizon is a privacy platform built on zero-knowledge technology with a decentralized secure node architecture. The Horizon platform enables real-life uses beyond currency, including the ability to privately chat with other people. Soon, Horizon will enable you to publish information and go anywhere on the web, all with complete privacy. Horizon, bringing privacy to life. Learn more at horizon.global. HORIZEN.global.
The Free State Project has reached its goal of 20,000 liberty lovers who've pledged to move to New Hampshire and get active to achieve liberty in our lifetime. Perhaps you're trying to figure out what part of New Hampshire should be your destination. If so, consider Keene. You'll find more than 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com. Keene is famous for its historic, publicity-generating activism, as well as being the liberty media capital of the world. It's home to freekeene.com, New Hampshire's destination for liberty activism, news, and opinion. For years, we've been compiling over 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com, where you'll learn about some of what's happening here and what makes Keene a great place to live. If you love liberty, you'll probably enjoy anywhere you end up in the Shire. But do your due diligence first. Please visit move.freekeene.com for the full list of over 150 reasons to move to Keene. That's move.freekeene.com.
Here's a chance to do a little activism while you're cruising Facebook, Twitter, or Google+. Between the LOL cats, the recipes, the hot girls, and the inspirational sunrise memes, Free Talk Live's posts pass by your newsfeed. Like them, comment. It gives us more exposure. If you don't see our posts, click like at facebook.freetalklive.com and then hover over it to click Get Notifications. It's an easy way to spread the ideas of liberty a bit further. I know you're busy, but you can spare that 1/10 of a calorie it takes to click on something. facebook.freetalklive.com.
This Your Family Today tip is brought to you by Ovaltine. Give your kids the nutrition they need to be their best. Visit us at ovaltineusa.com. Telling your child about healthy food choices is important, but showing her what to eat goes a lot further. Have her help create the grocery list, then bring her to the store with you. Picking out healthy foods together helps kids get in the habit of thinking about what they're eating every day. For more tips like these, visit us at parenthood.com/yourfamilytoday.
If you enjoy LRN.FM, please contribute to your favorite shows via their websites and become an amplifier at amp.lrn.fm. That's amp.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live, and you can bring up whatever you want to hear. We're talking about the Pledge of Allegiance, one of probably the most misunderstood aspects of all of our upbringings here in the United States. It's Ian and Mark in the studio with you. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. And I want you to know that Free Talk Live is brought to you by Bitcoin.com. If you're new to cryptocurrency, it is not too late to get started and learn the basics
about this stateless currency that is not issued by a government, that doesn't have any shiftless government politicians deciding how many or how few of these things should be listed.
Right, it has
doesn't have central bankers that control, I don't know, a good portion of millions of the populations with their fiat currencies. This is simply math. And that's what makes cryptocurrencies great.
And it works very well. You can go to Bitcoin.com. You can learn more about cryptocurrency and Bitcoin, how it all started there. Bitcoin.com as we continue. Now, Mark, the gentleman was he did not hold through the break, but you wanted to address his question about what's un-American, he asked, amongst the other things he was saying. What's un-American about the Pledge of Allegiance?
Well, so first off, I thought we were going to discuss this, silly lady and her silly pledges that she wanted to bring upon the earth, and be able to talk to people about new pledges and then juxtapose that at some point against the Pledge of Allegiance, as opposed to just jumping right in and saying the Pledge of Allegiance is socialist, which is what you did on this one. Nonetheless, that's fine.
Well, it is.
It's
statist for sure,
certainly,
and
statist.
It was written by a socialist. Okay, how about that?
Absolutely, 100%. I can't disagree with any of these things. It's just that it goes from 0 to 60 really fast.
That's what I do.
Jarring, and I don't.
I like iconoclasm.
Yeah, well, I like to bring my message to people a little more slowly. So first off, 100%. This nation was founded by. For one, Quakers were a large portion of the population, and they have a thing against swearing oaths generally. George Washington has, written thoughts regarding Quakers, and he thanks them for their service to the Revolution, which is they didn't serve for the Revolution, right? They're anti-war. So, not swearing pledges. It's interesting that the Pledge of Allegiance didn't come along till 1890. Okay, like the country existed for a full 100 years, plus a little bit if you consider the Articles of Confederation, this country, whatever, long before the pledge existed. So the fact that it's existed all of our lives does not make it long-standing. The country existed probably about half of its length and time without the Pledge of Allegiance. Secondly,
a little less than that now, but yes.
He jumped into nationalism. Nationalism's good.
It was 1890 when Bellamy released his first version of the
Sure,
pledge.
And the U.S. Constitution was 1789, I believe, and then 1776 is claimed to be the start of the country. So I think we're right about half.
Maybe you're right, yeah.
Anyway, going on. The fella said nationalism good. And who could disagree with that? Nationalism's great, right? Like we've got
no, it's not.
In our nation, we've got eagles and red, white, and blue, and all this wonderful stuff. I like all of those things. I will say, however, to address nationalism, you really need to look at this as who benefits, not
from
whether
from nationalism.
From nationalism, who benefits from nationalism? Ian,
the state, the government.
Right, specifically the people at the very, very top of the government. I'm not talking about people in the military or anything like that. My supposition here, this is a hypothesis. My hypothesis is that the young men and women who sign up for the U.S. military put their lives on the line in order to serve the whims of shiftless politicians throughout the ages, who die for hills that were of no value and no consequence, whose deaths are often walked back shortly thereafter. Look at the Vietnam War, where those people died in the droves, and then the politicians just gave everything away. Over and over, I can show you these problems in history of giving your lives to these people. And I'm not talking about the nation, because you don't give your life to the nation. You give your lives to the politicians.
The nation is just an idea. Just an idea to get you to give up your allegiance, your obedience, your money, all that stuff.
How much money would somebody have to give you in order to fight, quite possibly fight to the death, for whatever their cause is?
A lot of damn money.
It'd have to be a lot of money, but they don't give a lot of money to privates. They don't give a lot of money to any enlisted men, and it's very few officers who aren't getting much money either.
It's because of the mythology.
That's exactly what it is. It's all about the nationalism. If you want to know what nationalism is, follow the money. The money is the politicians, the military-industrial complex, the big bankers, all these people that make money because of these wars.
On the backs of the poor, basically.
Now, oil companies are probably worth looking at, rare earth mineral companies, and all this stuff. These are the people that benefit, not you and I. Not the ones that spill the blood.
No,
because
you end up with crippled or dead family members.
I was going to sign up for the military when I was young. So
they had me interested.
And we have several hosts that are veterans here, none of whom would disagree with us. By the way, you can listen to Free Talk Live
7 nights a week
from 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. Eastern Time if you're just hearing us now and you're surprised by what you hear. Don't worry, we do this 7 nights a week. But ultimately, nationalism's a trick.
Yeah.
It's just okay,
nasty.
those FA-18s that fly over football games, they're really cool to watch and everything, but they fly over for a reason. They fly over because the military recruiters pay for that. And they pay for it because they know that if we all get excited, that young men will get excited because we're excited, and young women will get excited and they'll want to be around the young men who've gotten excited, right? And that it uses the whole human interplay, the whole passion drama, and it uses your money to do it. And what do we get out of it? Because best I can tell,
you get dead,
if
and
you
injured,
leave off everything
suicidal people
from 1945. 1945 on, decades of military intervention, we basically get nothing. That we, the American citizen, gets nothing.
Not only that, think about the costs.
Debt.
Think about the cost. Well, the debt is one thing, the cost of the military, running the military, building all the equipment and all that. But then how about the cost of the human lives? How about the incalculable cost of all of those people who are dead and or, permanently disfigured, injured.
Right.
Take all of that productivity out of the marketplace. Because all those people, if they weren't in the military, would probably be fixing cars or working at the grocery store or, starting their own business or whatever it is that they would be done, whatever their calling in life was. Well, that's just been stripped away from however many thousands upon tens of thousands of hundreds of thousands of men who have perished in these,
and quite a few
conflicts.
Women.
Yeah.
Right. And now when you call in to rebut my statements, please make sure to call me un-American. And make sure to point out that I do not support the military. Even though I want these young men and women alive and working in the marketplace.
Being productive.
Yeah. Make sure that you call me the bad person, because that's important.
So the phones are open, of course, for you. If you want to join us, the toll-free number is 855-450-FREE. 855-450-3733. Nationalism is bad for your freedom, and it's good for the people who want to take your freedom away from you, basically. I think you summed it up really well, Mark. 855-450-3733. Plus, you can call on our Discord call-in lines over at our Discord server at discord.lrn.fm. This is the live Saturday edition of Free Talk Live.
Most of you know that heart disease is the #1 silent killer in the U.S. What if I told you for just $54.95 a month you could fight against heart disease naturally? At Heart and Body Extract, we've been helping thousands of people get back to a healthier heart. Don't just take my word for it. Check out all of the success stories at hbextract.com. Or to order, call 866-295-5305. That's 866-295-5305. hbextract.com. Don't risk it when you can take charge of it.
Hunters, anglers, campers, and survivalists. Get back to nature. Expand your horizons with the highest quality, most versatile, unique slingshots and sling bows on the market at slingbow.com. Sling bow products are compact and models start from just $17.98. They're perfect for your bug out bag or storing in your vehicle. Give yourself and your loved ones the excitement and tradition of sling bow. A new frontier in archery and truly modern twist on this primitive survival tool. Feel the thrill only at slingbow.com.
This is Michael Dean from the Freedom Fiends. I've run websites since 1996 and have used over a dozen web hosts in that time. AgristHosting.com is the only one that hasn't broken my heart. Agrist Hosting's uptime and service is stellar, and their DDoS mitigation is the best I've seen. That's important because if you tell the truth in this world, you'll ruffle feathers. And some people will try dirty tricks to silence your voice. No matter what the haters hit us with, Agrist Hosting keeps our websites online. If you have a mission-critical commercial presence or a world-changing activism site, you cannot tolerate any skullduggery. So go with agristhosting.com. Have a WordPress or blog site, but you're not satisfied with performance or uptime? Or just want raw hosting? Want to pay with Bitcoin? Agrist Hosting specializes in high-performance hosting with personalized service. Go to agristhosting.com and click on the button that says Get Hosted. That's agristhosting.com.
What do you shop for that you could otherwise buy at Amazon? Pretty much everything, right? Amazon has competitive pricing and they deliver, and that's a big plus. If you could plan ahead in your shopping, would you be interested in saving up to 33%? There's a catch. You have to do your shopping in Bitcoin. But imagine those savings. It's like a huge raise. All you have to do is go to saveitpurse.com. We've saved thousands, and you can too. Plan ahead and save. Saveitpurse.com. So you've heard all 3 hours of the latest episode of Free Talk Live, and you're still hungry for liberty-oriented audio content? Did you know that we have another 24/7 audio stream at LRN.FM? The Liberty Radio Network airs the latest episodes of some of the best liberty-oriented podcasts on the internet around the clock. In addition to recorded content, you'll also hear live shows like Free Talk Live, originating from our Keene, New Hampshire studio. So listen anytime at LRN.FM. That's LRN.FM. Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm.
Join the LRN.FM Discord for live chat 24/7 at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live. Dial toll-free. Join us on the radio. Here, the number's 855-450-FREE. Like freedom, that's 855-450-3733. Our Discord on-air call-in line room is available to you over at discord.lrn.fm. It's Ian and Mark in the studio tonight. And big news came out this week. If you are just a Saturday night listener here on Free Talk Live, maybe you only get us on your local radio station on Saturdays, you did not yet probably hear that Zencash is now known as Horizon, which is much more than just a cryptocurrency. They've got a much bigger vision, so they've rebranded Zencash to Horizon as a privacy platform built on zero-knowledge technology. That's really great privacy tech, with a decentralized secure node architecture, with more secure nodes and supernodes combined than, from what I understand, any other cryptocurrency in the marketplace today. That's according to Rob Viglione, who we had on this week from Zencash to talk about, or from now Horizon, to talk about the rebranding. The Horizon, so more than Bitcoin, right? You hear everything about Bitcoin and how great it is? It's great.
When we were telling you back in 2011 to buy Bitcoin, if you'd have bought it then, you'd be a multi-billionaire.
Yeah,
I'm just saying, do you want to be sitting here in 5 years having me say the same thing about Horizon?
So, we can't make predictions about what's going to happen, but anything can happen. But I'm pretty excited about.
I wouldn't bet the farm on it, but I like the tech, and I have put, some of the money that I manage, I've put behind this.
I've converted some of the church's Ethereum into Horizon within the last couple of months. Horizon.global is where you can go to learn more. HORIZEN, and soon they'll be able to enable you to publish information on Horizon and go anywhere on the web, all with complete privacy. So they're rolling out some really cool changes in the future. Go to Horizon.global. HORIZEN.global to learn more about that. We've been talking about the Pledge of Allegiance and nationalism, all of it sparked by some controversy at a school in Atlanta that had announced they were moving their pledge from the morning gathering because they felt as though some were choosing not to participate, and they wanted to respect those individuals, which was a refreshing thing to hear, but then unfortunately they went and made the situation worse by talking about creating a new pledge, a pledge to the so-called school family, community, country, and global society. And just to be clear, I'm against both of the pledges, the Pledge of Allegiance and this new pledge that they're proposing here as well. Let's go to your calls and thoughts. Let's talk first to Len in South Carolina listening. Let's see, where are you at in South Carolina, Len?
I'm in the Grand Strand area.
So you must be listening to WRNN, I'm guessing.
That's right.
Go ahead, sir.
Right. So I just have a brief comment. I've listened. I don't listen to this show much. I just happened to turn it on as I was running an errand. But you think about people and nationalism and people who join the military or fighting battles and living and dying for unprincipled higher-ups. You two are either naive or you're boneheaded or you're trying to wind people up, or maybe all three, I don't know. But, if it wasn't for this, if it's not for a sense of nationalism in any country, you don't have much. You don't have anything that binds people together.
How about the shared human experience?
Well, that's great on a personal level, but what about on a national level where,
that's just an idea.
Like,
the nation is just an idea. What's the benefit of it?
Let me finish my statement.
Yeah.
Make sure you call me boneheaded one more time, too. I really like that part.
Go ahead.
Okay. Historically, throughout our country's been faced with threats. Your comments are making the presumption that the world is this euphoric place, that we don't have to deal with crazies like Hitler or Islamists that want to take over.
Why did you have to deal with Hitler?
Oh, I didn't, but my ancestors did.
Why did they have to deal with Hitler?
Because the United States got involved in World War I, and then Britain and France starved out Germany, creating a situation where a fascist leader could come to rise and then wipe out all the Jews. Don't forget the fact that FDR turned away the Jews and is thus responsible for the death of 6 million.
Well, that's an interesting take on it, but again,
it's the truth.
You're acting under this presumption that the world is a euphoric place, and we still live in
I'm not. I'm acting on the presumption that in the last 70 years, all of the wars the United States has fought have been aggressive wars.
They've made the world less safe.
That there's very little battle going on the United States soil.
Why don't you move somewhere where there's not that, then, if that's what you truly believe? But I don't think you do. I think that you are either young and you're victims
I'm 47. I don't think I'm young.
Well, that's young.
About the age Barack Obama was when he took office. There's presidents that were younger than me.
You're more than halfway to the the life expectancy.
If you don't like my opinion, why don't you get out, Ian? Look, here, I'm going to address that.
I didn't assume that you were young in chronological age. I assume that you were young.
Right, I'm an idiot. That's right.
You have this progressive.
You need to have.
I'm not a progressive. Whoa, hold on just a second, mister.
What do you do for a living?
I'm a radio talk show host, you dullard.
Okay,
where are you listening to me?
How long have you done that?
15 years.
What did you do before that at 47?
What the hell does it matter?
I'm 47 now.
Well, it matters because I'm trying to figure out what your life experience.
We have military veterans who host this show. There's none on the air tonight.
What about you? I'm not talking about them. What about you?
Okay.
What's your life experience?
Hold on. Do you want to talk? I'm happy to give you my life experience, but what you're going to do is you're going to say, "Ha-ha! You worked at a convenience store when you were 20 years old, and you're just a convenience store worker."
Listen,
I washed dishes at one point.
I'm not. So did I.
You were a personal trainer at a gym.
I did some roofing.
I also spent.
You were a cab driver.
Look, guys, I feel like I'm in high school here. Could you just listen to me for a second?
So do I. I'm being judged by the work I did. I told you I was a nationally syndicated.
I'm not trying to judge you.
I'm a nationally syndicated talk show host.
What the hell does it matter what he did for work in the past?
Here's my perspective. My perspective is the United States government is populated by liars and thieves. Do you disagree with that statement, sir?
I think the human race is populated by liars.
Okay, so everybody's a liar and thief. I would agree with you.
Well,
hold on.
No, I didn't say everyone.
This is the primrose path. Do you like primroses? I'm going to show you some. So
you can't even have a conversation.
I have had a conversation with you.
Have a conversation.
It devolved to, did you deliver pizzas at one point? I mean, so look, my point is, as far as the military goes here, I think that men and women have been abused throughout the ages in wars
in service
around
of
the
politicians.
World. Yeah. I asked the gentleman, what does nationalism serve? He said national cohesion. I would say that nationalism didn't really rise till the 1800s. What did we do prior to that? Well, I can tell you Hessians fought against the Americans in the Revolutionary War for money. It was all about what could people get compensated, or they'd be conscribed into militaries and at the point of a bayonet. And that's the point I'm trying to make right now, is the nationalism continues to serve those in power and not us.
Len, you're back on. Go ahead.
Yeah, I know. You guys block. You talk over people. I guess that's a good.
No,
thing.
we put you on hold because you couldn't actually stop for a moment and have a conversation. You are constantly interrupting as well. So go ahead. Now's your chance.
Oh, as well. All right, I'll try not to interrupt you. But first of it, you're wrong. That's a very false premise that nationalism only existed in the 1800s.
No, I didn't say that.
Well, what did you say?
I said that it rose in the 1800s. Sure, there have always been people that salivated over the shoes of the king.
Okay, what about the ones that didn't salivate over the shoes of the king and decided that what we had here was a different type of life that we wanted to preserve and develop? What about those people in the very beginning?
Right.
What did you call that?
Well, that was revolution. I mean, that's
based on what? Based on what? What were we revolting against?
Well, there's good evidence that it was the debt of the founders. That a lot of people that the John Hancock, George Washington, these guys had huge debts overseas, and that that a revolution would help them pay it off. But ultimately, it's the ability to rule oneself.
Thank you for the call, Len. I am sorry, I just don't buy the idea that politicians going to war somehow protects what we have here, which I presume he's referring to relative freedom. Continue here in moments on Free Talk Live.
The Bitcoin.com wallet is a simple and powerful full-featured wallet that allows you to send and receive Bitcoin, BTC, and Bitcoin Cash, BCH, with anyone, anywhere in the world. It supports both single and multi-signature wallets and is available in multiple languages. The Bitcoin.com wallet is available on Windows, Linux, Mac, Android, and iOS devices. Use the Bitcoin.com wallet to buy, send, store, and receive both Bitcoin, BTC, and Bitcoin Cash, BCH. Learn more at wallet.bitcoin.com. That's wallet.bitcoin.com.
What's more profitable, running your business or doing bookkeeping? Doing your business, of course, but you want to keep your books so that you can maximize your tax savings, right? What if I told you that there's a person that's a bookkeeper, accountant, and law school graduate that's also a hardcore libertarian?
My name is Melanie Johnson, and I hate the state. I will aggressively help you to minimize your tax exposure and maximize profits, all while staying within the law.
Melanie's your best choice for your taxes and bookkeeping needs. Go to tax.freetalklive.com and check out our website, tax.freetalklive.com.
Hello, this is Dr. Bill Deagle, MD of NutriMedical.com, announcing the breakthrough Red Deer Velvet DR. It delivers the protected building blocks of all organs and tissues, allowing your own stem cells as architects and engineers to regenerate you. Not since fetal life, when aging does not occur, has such an amazing NutriMed been available to help heal you and regenerate you. Anti-aging requires that you correct mineral, activated nutraceutical, and jump the gene defects and poor diet you have to deliver the cellular tools for regeneration. You must remove old damaged cells and replace them with your young healthy cells to wind the biological clock to a younger you. Order your Red Deer Velvet DR now at NutriMedical.com 24/7 or 888-212-8871. That's NutriMedical, NUTRI, medical, MEDICAL.com. Or call our order line 888-212-8871.
Following today's press conference in which NASA announced its continuing search for a planet capable of supporting NASA, researcher Dr. Kenneth Heiser sat down with Onion reporters to detail their ongoing mission to find a NASA habitable planet.
Our objective is to find a planet capable of nurturing not just life, but also a sustained interest in the exploration of the cosmos. Such a planet would need to have water and proximity to light and heat, but also life forms with even the vaguest understanding of the importance of astronomical exploration. Ultimately, this would need to be a planet with organisms that have a genuine interest in expanding the limits of their knowledge.
Heiser added that any planet capable of supporting NASA would need to be able to generate a steady stream of financing to meet the agency's $18 billion annual budget.
The important thing is we just need to be patient. There's a limitless number of planets in the universe, and eventually we'll find one with the resources to support our work. We just have to, right?
This is the Onion News Network.
LRN.FM is proud to announce our official listening apps for Android and iOS devices. Now you can easily tune into our streams anywhere, anytime on your smartphone or tablet. Just visit apps.lrn.fm or search for LRN.FM in the Android or Apple app stores. Please download, rate us 5 stars, then share the link on your social media and let your friends and family know how you're listening to LRN.FM. Download it now, free, at apps.lrn.fm. Looking for a great real estate investment? Consider New Hampshire, which is ground zero for the Liberty Movement. Your first call should be to Mark Worden from Porcupine Real Estate. He's more than just a real estate agent. He's your New Hampshire concierge. Where are the best places to live? Do you want farm, city, the burbs, or forest? Do you want a duplex or multifamily building so that renters pay your mortgage? There are homes in all price ranges in New Hampshire, and Mark can help with financing too. Invest in liberty and property. Mark Worden can help.
PorcupineRealEstate.com.
You're listening to the best liberty-oriented audio streamed around the clock, on the air, and online. This is the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
Hey, it is Free Talk Live. Ian and Mark here in the studio tonight. And it is the live Saturday edition of the program. The toll-free number, if you want to join us, by the way, phones are loaded up, 855-450-FREE. If you can't get through on the phone lines, well, you can get through on our on-air call-in line rooms on Discord. Go to discord.lrn.fm, and you can jump in there, and you'll sound almost like you're sitting here in the studio with us. You do need the Discord app. You can grab that over at discordapp.com for Android, for iOS, for Linux, Mac, Windows, whatever computer you're on. Sorry, Windows Phone users. That phone, by the way, is dead. Apparently, Microsoft announced they were no longer going to be developing that. But pretty much everybody else, you can get on the Discord app at discordapp.com and then use discord.lrn.fm to connect to our server as we go and continue with your calls and thoughts here. Folks feel very strongly about the Pledge of Allegiance and nationalism. The last caller suggesting that there's something about nationalism, and of course he was translating that into these politicians sending people to die, sending the military to die in various different conflicts around the world. He suggested that brings us together to some extent, that it protects what we have here was a term that he used, that this is all necessary to protect what we have here. And if what we have here is the ability to be more free, to start a business or to, create your own religion or, be of whatever religion you want, or these sort of, inherently American ideas, or at least that which we consider American ideas.
Economic freedom in the United States has slipped from the year 2000 when the United States was number 2 in the world behind Hong Kong.
Well, we're just not protecting it enough, Mark. We need more military and more wars to fight around the world to bring people together.
How in the world would creating a larger tax burden protect my economic freedom?
Well, no, just ignore that, okay? It's the military.
It's protecting the things we have. Yes, right. $22 trillion in debt.
Let's go to your calls and thoughts here. Let's talk to Herb, or Herb, perhaps? Herb in Smithfield, Virginia. You're on Free Talk Live, listening to WNIS.
Hey, guys.
Hey, Herb.
I catch you all every now and then,
Thanks.
And I really am amazed at some of the things you talk about and the perspectives that you take. But I have a simple question, and I'll leave it at that.
Yes, sir.
I'm sure you went to high school. I'm sure you probably went to college. And
Unfortunately. Yeah, unfortunately. I wish I could take it back.
The first declarative part of the Pledge of Allegiance is, I pledge allegiance to the flag, the symbol of the United States of America. And I'll leave it at that, guys. That is a very declarative statement, and you can take it anywhere you want to, but by golly, I think it stood this country in good stead ever since they created it.
So you support socialism. You support the Socialist Pledge of Allegiance, written by a National Socialist or Christian Socialist, Francis Bellamy.
I think in that case, what he's talking about, it's more important to talk about it being a flag salesman.
You support just straight-up statist indoctrination of the American youth. Is that right?
I believe in the Pledge of Allegiance to my flag, and I will leave it
But
at
why?
that.
Well, he says he wants to leave it at that.
Yes,
I'm asking you why.
We have a bunch of whatever you want to call it as politicians that
liars
get
and
us into
thieves.
things. And I never thought I would ever say I didn't trust my federal government, but hey, I've gotten to the point where I don't trust the state or local either.
You shouldn't. You shouldn't. Well, what does the flag stand for? Doesn't it stand for the government? I mean, isn't
it says the Republic?
Aren't the 50 stars on the flag representative of the state governments?
It stands for the republic upon which our Constitution was written and wherein is our rights and freedoms. And it doesn't get any better than the Constitution of the United States of America.
What do you mean when you say it doesn't get any better? I mean, I understand there were a lot of good ideas in the Constitution, but it hasn't really worked out, has it? I mean, Mark, you just said that
As far as a founding document goes, I would agree the United States Constitution is among the best. I think there's some state constitutions that might be a little bit better.
But if it hasn't held together over the years, if they've debased it, then what's it matter?
It has largely held together. There have been interpretations by the Supreme Court, which some we agree with, some we don't, but it is what it is. And still, having been to some of the rear ends of the world, I'll stick with the United States of America any day.
Do you have anything to say to what Mark pointed out about the economic freedom in the United States dropping to, what was it, 17th place?
I think it's number 18.
18th place in the world?
That's because of the many programs we have to give resources away to people who don't want to go out and earn their own way.
Do you expect that to go? Do you expect the United States to claw its way back up that list, or do you expect to continue to slip down?
I think we will maintain a position and improve it over a period of time with the right economic leadership.
Is that in place right now, that economic leadership?
It's better than it has been.
So maybe it sounds like you like Trump a bit. You do understand the United States has gone from, in the year 2000, under Bush, I think it was in 2000, it was number 2 in the world. Nobody can beat Hong Kong. Hong Kong's just really economically free. But I'll take the number 2 position because that makes you the number 1 nation in the world. Fine. Slips from number 1 to presumably then number 17, because if you're going to exclude Hong Kong, then you exclude it again. So number 17, so it's on a downward slide.
In the last 20 years, yeah.
I expect that to continue. I don't see much evidence that Trump is going to do it. At this point, we got 2 years of Trump to see what's going on. He hasn't really done anything. The Republicans in Congress haven't really done anything to make us more economically free. There was the tax cut. Maybe that'll bump us up a few slots.
It'll probably take a couple of years before anything starts showing in the stats. Go ahead.
Gentlemen, it is not a case of liking Trump. It's a matter of enacting policies and taking actions that make America stronger economically, morally, mentally, physically, etc. And you can't turn around a ship that was going down in a moment. It takes a while.
Does going to war make America stronger economically?
No, because wars always cost a hell of a lot of money.
Okay, so we're in agreement there. So I appreciate your call tonight, Herb. Thank you for making it to us.
You guys keep up the good work. It stimulates brainwaves.
I appreciate that. Thank you, sir. Toll-free number tonight, 855-450-FREE. Whether you agree with us or not, certainly we like to get people thinking about things from a different perspective. 855-450-3733. Eddie is on the line in Chesapeake, Virginia, listening to WNIS. Hello, Eddie.
Hey, guys.
Hey,
I just caught the tail end of Lynn's conversation.
Yes, sir.
And, I've spoken to you fellows about 3 times now. I think what he's trying to point out, and others, is when I turn on this program, it's all negativity about our country. I mean, yeah, it is going downward. We elected a president to try to reverse things, and you see what's happening to this guy. I mean, the liberal content of this country are crucifying the man and anybody else that supports him, me included.
I think you need to be I think we should be clear,
speak
Eddie.
up and say something positive.
Well, hold on. Let me.
I'd love to say something positive. I think the United States is a great place to earn money, and when the United States is not exporting violence to other countries around the world, it is at its very best.
Yeah,
it allows the poor, the weak, the weary, the underserved to come here to work for a better life for themselves.
It doesn't, though. Well, it doesn't allow that. It doesn't allow the poor to start their own business. It doesn't allow people to come here.
Oh yeah, it does. Oh yeah, it does.
No, it doesn't. What do you think? What do you think people are clamoring for a wall for? They want more border patrol. They want more restrictions. They want more internal checkpoints.
Have
you ever heard of licenses?
The people that come to this country, I go up here and support a local convenience store by people who came to this country legally.
People who came legally.
And they're probably doing better than me.
So what you're saying is you've got to ask a bureaucrat's permission to come here. That's freedom?
Well, see, here you go again with all the negativity. Yeah, you got to go through the system. I don't like it either. But
you've been abused.
But if we
to the
keep
point.
electing Democrats in office, we're going to have to. We won't be able to start a small business.
Well, look, it's not that I disagree with I don't disagree with you. Yes, Democrats seem to be functionally illiterate when it comes to economics, but that doesn't mean that the Republicans know anything. I mean, it's the policies.
Hell no, they're just as worse as.
Well, right.
They're just as bad as the rest.
There's no Republicans rolling
That's my problem here, is I'm a Republican. I'm a former Republican just sitting here, or I am a Republican, waiting for Republicans to say something that makes any sense. And they're all about, let's blow up them foreign folks, and let's make sure the Mexicans can't come here.
What about
that's what it's all about.
Regulations?
I just want to talk about economic freedom.
What about rolling back licensing restrictions? What about rolling back regulations? I don't see any Republicans or Democrats proposing any kind of wholesale.
The only one that's trying to roll back stuff, and he says it. He says he's rolled back a whole lot of bureaucracy. I don't know how true it is, but Trump says he's rolling back all kinds of stuff.
Well, he doesn't get to just roll back bureaucracy on his own volition. He's got to have the support of the Congress to do that. And I'm not just talking about it at a national level. I'm not just talking about it at a national level. I'm talking about locally. Where are the Republicans locally talking about rolling back government regulations and restrictions? How about get rid of zoning while we're at it? They're not proposing anything like that because they're statists. They support the government. And when we talk about things on this show, we're talking about the government negatively, not the America, not the landmass or the people here.
I love
Free
you.
Talk Live.
Let's talk tough. Let's talk comfort. Let's talk about down-home value, made in the USA blue jeans, like you wore as a kid. Remember?
There's a place down in Tennessee where they make blue diamond gusset jeans. They so pride in every stitch, guarantee you love the way they fit. They put a diamond gusset in the crotch where you need it most. Blue diamond gussets got it, others don't.
For good old-fashioned comfort, get Diamond Gusset jeans. Every stitch guaranteed. And our Defender motorcycle jean comes Kevlar reinforced. See them at GUSSET.com, that's gusset.com, or call 888-848-7738. That's 888-848-7738. Diamond Gusset jeans got it, others don't.
Are you tired of governments murdering people around the world? Stop using their money. There is an alternative. Bitcoin is a stateless, free market, non-political currency. Bitcoin cannot be inflated or controlled by any government. By using their money, you are helping the state. Stop doing it. You have an incredible alternative available now. Learn it, use it, spread it. Get started with Bitcoin at Bitcoin.com. That's Bitcoin.com.
There are lots of ways to listen to Free Talk Live. Our podcast has been around since podcasts began, and now the FTL feed is loaded with content besides our full show archives. Did you know that we make it easy for you to customize your podcast subscriptions? We have different feeds, one that includes only our full shows, one with just the Daily Digest, and one with just the Edgington Post. You decide what you listen to. It's quick and easy to customize your feeds at feeds.freetalklive.com. That's feeds.freetalklive.com.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 2 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
From Keene in the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Daryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Saturday, August 25th, 2018. Silver is trading at $14.82 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,206 per ounce. Zencash is trading at $20, and the average price of Bitcoin is $6,711. Antiwar.com reports the recently founded rebel group, the Military Command Council for the Salvation of the Republic, CCMSR, has reported that they attacked Chadian troops along the Libyan border earlier this week, routing them and forcing them to withdraw. The CCMSR seeks to overthrow the DB government in Chad. The movement has a number of former Darfur rebels in its ranks, as well as allies of former President Habré. Habré is serving a life sentence in Senegal for crimes against humanity. CCMSR says that the attack took took place on Tuesday morning and that the army forces fled in total disarray, leaving behind sheep carcasses and heaps of food. They did not offer any casualty figures. Chadian military officials offered conflicting statements. The security minister denied that any rebel attacks had taken place at all, while other military officials were quoted by Reuters as confirming fighting had taken place without providing any details. When you hear the word lobbyist, you probably think about greedy corporations, but not all lobbyists are the same. Some are fighting for the freedoms you hold dear. Liberty Lobby LLC is doing just that in New Hampshire, working hard to represent you, not some special interest group. You can help by going to libertylobby.info, where your contribution will give us the tools we need to ensure that your voice is heard. Visit libertylobby.info today to find out more. UPI reports President Donald Trump on Friday said he asked Secretary of State Mike Pompeo to cancel his planned trip to North Korea, saying he does not believe efforts to denuclearize the peninsula are going as planned. Pompeo was scheduled to travel to North Korea for the fourth time next week to discuss plans to end Pyongyang's nuclear weapons program. North Korean leader Kim Jong-un agreed to end the program during a June meeting with Trump in Singapore. Trump wrote in a series of tweets Friday afternoon, "I have asked Secretary of State Mike Pompeo not to go to North Korea at this time because I feel we are not making sufficient progress with respect to denuclearization of the Korean peninsula. Additionally, because of our much tougher trading stance with China, I do not believe they are helping with the process of denuclearization as they once were, despite UN sanctions which are in place." In 1999, Darrell W. Perry began a search for traditional values, which led him down a path to the ideas of liberty. He tells the story in A Rebel's Journey, My Path to Liberty. Of the book, Dr. Brian Sovereign says, "Sometimes it's funny, and sometimes I think it's crazy, but it's always authentic." Find A Rebel's Journey, My Path to Liberty by Darrell W. Perry on Facebook, read reviews on Amazon, ask for A Rebel's Journey wherever books are sold, or visit arebelsjourney.com. Reuters reports University of North Carolina police charged 3 people in connection with toppling of a Confederate soldier statue on the Chapel Hill campus, according to an official on Friday, as the school braces for another on-campus rally over the weekend. At a rally earlier this week, protesters used a rope to pull down the statue known as Silent Sam, erected in 1913 to honor soldiers of the Confederate States killed during the Civil War. Each of the 3 people faces misdemeanor charges of riot and defacing of a public monument, according to University police spokesman Randy Young. Young added that the 3 are not affiliated with the University of North Carolina. A police investigation may result in additional arrest. The incident was part of a movement to dismantle U.S. Civil War symbols that critics say glorify the South's legacy of slavery. Many Americans see statues such as Silent Sam as symbols of racism and a glorification of the South's defense of the institution of slavery. Supporters view the memorials as important symbols of American history. The university said in a statement on Friday that it expected a rally on Saturday on campus and in town, and it was working with local officials and local law enforcement to ensure safety. The university said, "We do not know for sure what groups may attend, but we are mindful that the current atmosphere is highly charged, urging people to stay away. Some students and others have received threats because of Monday's events." The university police reviewed video on Tuesday to identify the protesters who toppled the statue. The UNC board chair Harry Smith Jr. and President Margaret Spelling denounced the toppling of the statue. UNC system board member Tom Goolsby said in a statement on Thursday that the university will reinstall Silent Sam within 90 days as required by North Carolina state law. Campus police arrested at least 1 person at Monday's protest for wearing a mask and resisting arrest. That person was not among the 3 people charged with toppling the statue. This has been FPP Radio News. Online at fppradio.com.
Following reports that local full-blown alcoholic Ken Matheson has such great friends that let him drink himself to death right before their eyes, the 32-year-old man spoke to reporters during a typical evening of binging with his closest friends.
Man, these guys are like brothers to me. I don't know what I'd do without them.
The chemically dependent man, who can reportedly always count on his friends to look the other way, facilitate belligerent behavior, and encourage his self-destructive impulses, informed reporters that the members of his tight-knit circle are, quote, the best buddies a guy could ask for.
Can you just shut the f*** up? Seriously. Just shut the f*** up. I lost back down. Keep going. What the f*** are you looking at? I love you, man. I love you.
Check this week's Onion Review for further developments.
I love you. Oh, God, I love everybody.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
It is Free Talk Live. We're launching into the second hour of the program. As always, you're invited to join us here. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. Or jump into our Discord on-air call-in line rooms on our Discord server at discord.lrn.fm. It's Ian and Mark in the studio with you tonight. We started the show out with a story regarding a charter school in Atlanta called the Atlanta Neighborhood Charter School, where they have a morning gathering of the entire school, apparently, including parents and students and teachers and such. And that was where they had been doing the Pledge of Allegiance for however many years. And they've decided that, or earlier, I guess this week, they decided they wanted to, or not, excuse me, a couple weeks ago now at this point, they decided they wanted to get rid of the Pledge of Allegiance from that morning session and move it to a different part of the day as an option for students to participate in. And they claim it was because they noticed people were not participating in the Pledge of Allegiance more often these days than in the past. You know, people opting out, for instance, in the past didn't happen as often. And so they wanted to actually respect that, which was a surprise to me that a government school would even, or government-funded school in this case, would make a move like that. But then they went and they made matters worse by proposing another pledge to replace the Pledge of Allegiance, which would be a so-called school pledge, based on, quote, students' civic responsibility to their school family, community, country, and our global community. And so that led to a conversation about the Pledge of Allegiance and its history, where it was created by a socialist in the United States, flag salesman Francis Bellamy, led to a larger conversation about nationalism and how damaging nationalism is, but yet people called in to talk about how great nationalism is and that we need nationalism to keep the country together because, well, we need the military to keep the country together by bombing people or something.
Ian, I thought about during the break. Here's something that I think people might be trying to say, is that that humans are group primates, and we like groups. And if we downplay our group, then you're naturally upplaying other groups. Or that's what people think. I would say that instead what the hosts of Free Talk Live, what we value here is virtues. We value things like honesty, truth, peace, personal responsibility. These ideas, truth, justice, the American way, and all these other ideas. Now, I think the American way is kind of this this overlay intended to incite nationalism and these sorts of things, because there is no American way. I don't even know what that means. But I'd love you to call in at 855-450-3733 and tell me what the American way is.
Well, shouldn't it have been the freedom to make your own way in life, the freedom to choose what you want to do and, you know,
life,
create a business or
liberty,
whatever?
And the pursuit of happiness, or the pursuit of property was on the first draft. And ultimately, property and happiness tend to be along the... If you can get happiness without property, by all means, please do that. It's really great. And that's the best spiritual path I think you can take. But for me, it's the virtues. And if my friendship with you, Ian, was based... Like, if you said something that is not true, I am happy to tell you the truth right to your face, because I value truth over our friendship. I value truth over pretty much every human relationship that I have. So if I get on the radio and I tell you something you don't want to hear, it's only because I believe it. It's not because I'm trying to stir up or incite anything. I'm a bonehead or whatever that caller said.
Guy last hour,
it's really because that's what I believe. And I have believed other things. I can believe other things. If you'd like to call in and educate me, yeah, I'll look at it, and maybe I'll come to another conclusion. Maybe I'll come to a conclusion quickly, but it's unlikely. People just don't do that. But I've changed my mind.
Sure.
And I've changed it right on the air, and I did it.
We've all changed our minds. I mean, at some point, I used to say the Pledge of Allegiance, and then I stopped.
Well, you did that in, like, school.
I stopped because I didn't like the... I think at a fundamental level, I knew there was something wrong with it.
No, I think you're an anti-authoritarian,
And so pledging allegiance to authority is wrong to me. I mean, the idea of authority is wrong. The idea that men and women could somehow gain authority over you. They were born just the same as you, right? Pushed out of their mother's womb and crying and peeing and, all the terrible things when, you have a baby. They did all that too. They're the same as you and I, but the idea that they have the...
Wait a second. Politicians aren't the same as you. There's science out there that shows that power corrupts and that power attracts the corrupted.
That's true.
If you take the population,
but they were born the same.
Wait a second. Yeah, I understand. We're all born, out the same way that humans are born.
And I don't respect their authority.
If you take the population as it exists, and you say, okay, based on virtues, how virtuous is this population? So the vast population of the United States, and then you compare it to the population of politicians. What you should find, according to science, is a group of people under the politicians that are far less virtuous in the areas of honesty and
they're scum.
Greed,
I'm telling you, they don't have any ability.
The deadly sense.
They have no inherent ability to tell people what to do. The fact that they do tell people what to do has nothing to do with the idea of authority, and it has everything to do with the fact that people believe in this system. They believe in authority because authority is just an idea. You don't have the right to stick a gun in my face and take my wallet from me. You don't have a right. And I don't think anybody listening would agree that you have a right to do something like that. That's clearly robbery. Well, you don't have a right to team up with 3 of your best friends and stick a gun in my face and take my wallet. And so, therefore, you don't have a right to team up with 51% of any given population and team up and elect a politician to hire police to steal from me or to threaten me or to do whatever. So the whole idea of authority is a complete mythology, and the idea that putting men and women
you have authority over yourself, so you have as much authority as you have over you. So if somebody harms you in whatever way, you can hire somebody or employ somebody like a police officer, right, to make that right, to go bring that person to justice or whatever. That the role of protection services and crime investigation, these are things the marketplace wants.
Well, saying you have control over yourself is kind of different than using the idea of authority. I mean, authority is typically something that is wielded over another person. The belief in authority allows these men and women in government to tell people what to do, to force them into servitude, to force them into a military. And it's just sick. Let's continue here with your calls and thoughts. We go first to Marie. She's in Washington State, listening to KBKW in Aberdeen. Hello, Marie.
Hi there. Thanks for taking my call. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, you're a little low. I'm going to ask my board op to try to turn up your levels, but go ahead, Marie.
Okay, hold on. I'll turn this up a little bit.
All right, we got you now. We got you. Go right ahead.
Okay, you got me.
Yeah.
All right. I left a question with your screener and regarding, I understand there's a law. I'm not sure if the word is law, but it helps, it protects society from themselves or others.
What protects society?
Part of the clause or part of the law would be if you're of harm to yourself or other people, that they can take and I don't know, they can do a number of different things by law.
Are you talking about, I'm not real clear which law you're talking about. Are you talking about the law that allows somebody to commit a person to, say, a 72-hour psychiatric watch? Is that what you're referring to? I'm not real clear.
Well, that would be, that's part of the, like if you're harmed to yourself or someone else, that goes along with it. They can do that, but it goes far beyond that. It kind of networks into an attorney. They can blow a whistle, if you want to call that, a daycare center, your doctor, EMTs, like it's a whole
Are you
big
saying you support this law that allows strangers to put people into psychiatric facilities?
No, that's not what I meant.
Okay.
At all. I'm trying to get more of an understanding of what this law is called.
So there's different names for it in different states. In Florida, it was called the Baker Act. probably named after some politician or somebody named Baker would be my guess. Thank you, Marie. You'll have to look at your local state laws and figure out what it's called there. It's usually called involuntary commitment is generally the terminology. There's more coming up.
She's such a beautiful little puppy. I mean, we walk around the block, and neighbors always say, her hair is so beautiful.
Healthy and shiny and glossy. DINOVITE.com.
Fatty acids, omega-3s, and omega-6s are great for healthy skin and soft, shiny coats.
I would really recommend people starting their puppies on Dinovite before they get into what I would call the misery index. Bad skin, bad ears, bad breath.
Because if they're getting all their vitamins, micronutrients, microbials from the beginning, then you're not going to run into the problems associated with the allergies,
grass, pollen, dust, dirt, fleas, ticks, you name it,
and the itching and shedding down the road.
Our vitamins and enzymes replace the nutrients cooked out of most commercial dog foods.
Dinovite for life.
This is Ed Lukasevic.
And Cindy Lukasevic.
Inviting you and your pets to Dinovite.
859-428-1000.
DINOVITE.com.
What's more profitable, running your business or doing bookkeeping? Doing your business, of course, but you want to keep your books so that you can maximize your tax savings, right? What if I told you that there's a person that's a bookkeeper, accountant, and law school graduate that's also a hardcore libertarian?
My name is Melanie Johnson, and I hate the state. I will aggressively help you to minimize your tax exposure and maximize profits, all while staying within the law.
Melanie's your best choice for your taxes and bookkeeping needs. Go to tax.freetalklive.com and check out our website, tax.freetalklive.com.
Bitcoin.com wants you to know about SaveItPurse.com. Since launching in 2014, over 200,000 users have saved an average of 15% for a combined $4 million using Bitcoin, or BTC. And now you can use Bitcoin Cash, BCH, to fund your account. You can save between 5 to 33% on things you're going to buy anyway when you shop using SaveItPurse.com. Add items to your cart, fund your account, select your discount, and save. SaveItPurse.com. Save ATPurse.com.
Since time began, tyrants have taken aim at personal liberties. Now there's a movie that aims back.
The government has no more right to tell us what to put in our bodies than they have to take our guns or tell us what books we can read.
6 drug police were eaten by bears while raiding a marijuana farm.
On your knees, you dirty hippies! Jesus. On your knees! What's the problem, officer?
Today, many cops who enforce pot laws do so only because it provides them with cushy jobs, good benefits, and a chance to push people around.
I was an undercover narcotics officer. The drug war is nothing but a farce.
The Second Amendment says you gotta keep you and your get intact.
Guns and Weed, The Road to Freedom. A film by Michael W. Dean and Nima Vadadi.
DVD available now at gunsandweed.com or on Amazon. That's gunsandweed.com. Makes the perfect gift. Remember, that's gunsandweed.com.
LRN.FM now has a Discord. Discord is a free text and voice chat platform, and we now have our own server with a bunch of channels at discord.lrn.fm. You can join other listeners as they chat about various things during our live shows, or anytime, day or night. Discord software is available cross-platform, so you can have it on whatever device you want and take your chats anywhere. Join our Discord at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
In Survivor Max 2, School Bites, Max must scavenge through a wasteland swarming with the undead. Desperate to find the medicine he needs, he discovers a community of survivors at his former school. Has he finally found the safe haven he's been looking for, or will he discover that school bites? Look for Survivor Max on Facebook, read reviews on Amazon, and read Chapter 1 at survivormax.com.
Do you love Twitter? Make sure you favorite the LRN.FM Twitter account so you can receive our tweets at twitter.lrn.fm. That's twitter.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live. You can bring up whatever is on your mind here. Live Saturday edition continuing at, of course, you can join us toll free at 855-450-FREE, 855-450-3733, or jump in our Discord on-air call-in line rooms. They are available to you. Actually, they are wide open right now while our phones are pretty busy. Go to discord.lrn.fm And I do want you to know about Anarchapulco 2019. Mark, you and I went to 2017 and 2018. This year was a sold-out event. And I think you sent an email to me the other day saying they've already sold 1,000 of this coming year, 2019's 3,000 tickets that they're making available. So 1/3 of the way done, and there's still 6 more months to go until this event.
Yes. If you want to go to this event, I encourage you to go. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Please get your tickets now.
Go to anarchapulco.com, use code FTL, and mark your calendar for Acapulco, Mexico, February 14th through the 19th. Perfect excuse to get away, especially if you're in cold climates, to go down to beautiful Acapulco right there on the beach at a world-class resort. The lineup of speakers, of course, is going to be second to none. Ron Paul will be heading it up, along with Judge Napolitano, Doug Casey, Larkin Rose. I was just talking about how authority is a fake idea, and Larkin Rose wrote the book on that. It's called The Greatest Superstition. Highly recommend that. Anarchapulco.com. February 14th through the 19th. Use code FTL, like Free Talk Live. When you get your tickets, code FTL will get you 15% off. We will be broadcasting from the event, and we'll look forward to seeing you in Acapulco in February. Again, anarchapulco.com. That's anarchapulco.com. Code FTL, like Free Talk Live. Let's go to John in Virginia Beach, listening to WNIS. Go ahead, John.
Hey, guys.
Hey.
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay?
Go right ahead.
Now, this Pledge of Allegiance to the flag and all that good stuff, I believe that if you really analyze a little bit of what the Pledge of Allegiance is telling you, it's basically telling you, to me now, okay, that you're pledging allegiance to a representation of the United States of America and to the Republic. Now, the United States only has one function, and that's to protect and enforce the things written in the Constitution. Is that clear enough?
Sounds clear to me. Sure.
Purportedly. I mean, they obviously do a heck of a lot more than that.
Of course they do. You and I both know that, and it makes us unhappy. But you basically need to look at the difference between a United States citizen versus an American, which is usually claimed by birthright.
What is a citizen?
A citizen is someone who's permitted to join under a different set of rules. You do not have constitutional rules if you are a United States citizen.
Tell me more about that. What do you mean? You don't have constitutional rules if you're a United States citizen. What does that mean?
Well, basically, it starts off when you're young. Of course, you get the Social Security card, and they print your name in all capital letters. And if you've ever owned a corporation, you'll notice that corporation has all capital letters. But the long and the short of it is when you become a young man, you'll get a driver's license. You will check at the top of the driver's license in whatever state you go to, reaffirming that you are a United States citizen, which makes you applicable to all federal, state, and city laws. So they can change the laws anytime they want. Like, here's a good for instance. If you were to be operating your motor vehicle and they were to pull you over and they were to suspect you were drinking, you would have to void your Fourth Amendment and your Fifth Amendment rights in the Constitution, since you signed that document earlier to get the driver's license, permission, if you will. And they would force you to blow and give them evidence against yourself.
So I asked you because I wanted to see what your perspective was on this. We've certainly we're familiar over the years with various different callers and legal theories. So I want to know, John, have you rescinded your U.S. citizenship and rescinded your have you been able to get a driver's license, or do you without signing that part of the document, or like crossing it out, or have you been driving without a driver's license like freedom to travel people do? I'm curious about what your implementation of these ideas has been.
All right. Since I don't want to offend my weaker brother, which would be the police officer, they're just doing their job, okay? You'd have to have a little bit higher IQ to understand that the Constitution allows me as an American to travel freely, unencumbered, throughout 50 states. Now, to offset the driver's license swearing at the beginning, you simply what you do, you take the document. You'll do it every 5 years. You mark out, I am a citizen of the United States of America. I mark out, I am a citizen. Mark out the United States, and I initial where I've marked it at. So if push comes to shove, and I also sent a letter to the state and the federal government that my time is worth, and I put an amount on it. You may think it's ridiculous, but $777 per hour, billed in quarter-hour increments. And then also the stipulation at the end of my statement was the interest, which is outrageous.
Mark, did you have a question?
Yeah, so when I do all this stuff, what laws do I get to get opted out of? I mean, exactly which laws will the police officers and politicians not enforce upon me?
Oh, they're going to try to enforce all of them.
Then why the hell would I do this?
Well, because when they do, you have warned them already. You have an hourly rate plus attorney's fees.
Do they pay it?
Pardon me?
Do they pay it? I've never heard anybody who's ever gotten this paid.
Well, I've had to actually fight it, and I discovered it many years ago through the cellular phone companies. They sent a collection notice where I cut it off early, and I sent them a letter stating how much I made. And they continued to call me, and I said, well, I'm logging your time here. And then I sent them a bill for the time, which was far exceeded the bill they were trying to collect. And we negotiated it where they sent me a smaller portion of it and marked their collection, what they were trying to collect.
So you're saying you got money out of the cell phone company, but have you ever gotten money out of the government for wasting your time? Because I would love to be able to do that. And I've heard of these fee schedules before, but there's never ever been any proof that they've ever worked for anything.
Right, and most people, see, here's the thing. Once you get free, if you start making a big deal about it, then you become, let's say, focused on.
This is the old claim that, this freedom theory, this thing works, but you can't tell anybody about it because then bad things will happen.
Well, it's going to be really hard for me as a talk show host to not talk about it.
I know, and I'm on the radio talking because I started this like 15 years ago.
Yep.
And once you send your amount, see, the reason they mess with you is because you're free. In other words, it costs them nothing to harass you and harangue you.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost like you have a contractor that is your slave. You can call them anytime to come over and work them to death and to add more things to their contract, and they don't have an hourly rate or anything. They're just your slave.
So, John, I would love to hear more of your stories. I find the freedom to travel very interesting. Whether you call yourself a sovereign citizen or not, that's another question, but I don't have time for it tonight. But call us another night and tell us more about, whether or not you've been able to drive around successfully with no driver's license, because I love the guys that do this stuff. They're just so hard to find. They're hard to, actually get the information out of about what works and what doesn't, or what has worked for them, because it may not always work for you.
I'm David Hall, founder of Diamond Gusset, where we're proud of our 100% grown and sewn American-made jeans. Whether you're out for dinner, working on the farm, or on the road, Diamond Gusset Jeans offers a full spectrum of styles and sizes for any occasion. To find yours, visit gusset.com. That's GUSSET.com. Our loyal customers enable us to continue sponsoring Liberty media outlets like the one you're listening to. In Liberty, David Hall, Diamond Gusset Jean Company.
This is Fred.
Hi, I'm Fred.
Fred's a repeater.
I tend to repeat.
Fred has a business.
I do have a business.
And a problem. Fred repeats the same tired advertising over and over, and now it doesn't work.
Over and over.
But Fred is about to see a vision.
I'm seeing a vision.
Advertising on the Genesis Communications Network is the smart way for Fred to reach his potential customers with the most affordable national advertising rates, period. Get started today with GCN, the Genesis Communications Network. Just email advertise@gcnlive.com.
This is novelist Tom Robbins. When my mother was diagnosed with glaucoma, her conservative Virginia physician told her there was only one treatment that might ease her pain and save her eyesight. That treatment was medical marijuana, which he could not prescribe. I offered to get her some and teach her how to use it effectively, but my father objected because marijuana was against the law. So my mother, who loved to read and walk in nature, was condemned to grow cruelly, unnecessarily blind. Tragedies like this happen all the time, but they don't have to keep happening. To learn more about medical marijuana, call the Marijuana Policy Project at 1-877-JOIN-MPP or visit them on the web at mpp.org.
I love My Magic Mud. I drink a lot of coffee. I had stains on my teeth. Then I found My Magic Mud, and I was told it would remove stains. So I paid attention when I brushed the first time. My Magic Mud is black tooth powder, and the difference it made in my teeth in one application was noticeable. With 4, my teeth were as white as you normal folks out there. Please go to mymagicmud.com and buy a jar. There's 150 applications for $25. You can use Bitcoin, mymagicmud.com. The 3 most important things you can do for Free Talk Live are: 1, share 1 episode a week on Facebook or in some other social networking site. 2, buy the things you buy online through shop.freetalklive.com. 3, give $5 a month to the AMP program. It's my firm belief that Free Talk Live's AMP program is the best use of your charitable dollar among liberty-oriented organizations. Support all the organizations you love, but make sure you give $5 a month to AMP at amp.freetalklive.com.
Why did you move to the Shire?
I moved here to the Shire because there's other people around who take liberty just as seriously as I do.
I moved to the Shire because I saw videos of people challenging authority and thought that I could get support myself. It called to me, like, do this right now.
I wanted to be around people like me who got it, and once I got here, I knew there was nowhere else that I wanted to be.
I've always wanted to change the world, so I moved to the Shire to join people who were actually working towards doing the same thing.
The people here are awesome, loving, and positive. It was for the adventure and for the feeling of something important is happening here, and I just wanted to come to sort of be part of that.
Visit ShireSociety.com to read and sign the Shire Society Declaration and learn the reasons why, if you love liberty, you should immigrate to the Shire. Plus, add yourself to the Shire map at ShireSociety.com. That's ShireSociety.com.
You can put the Liberty Radio Network on the air in your area. Visit broadcast.lrn.fm to learn how. Broadcast.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live, the live Saturday edition here. You can bring up whatever's on your mind. Our toll-free number is 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. And also, we've got the Discord on-air call-in lines that are available to you. Go to discord.lrn.fm. You can jump in there, and we'll get in there with you, and you'll sound almost like you're sitting in the studio with me, Ian.
And Mark.
As we continue here, I do want you to know about the Tom Woods podcast. A lot of libertarians got to know Tom Woods during the Ron Paul campaigns of 2008 and 2012. Tom is a New York Times best-selling author and has written over a dozen books, including The Politically Incorrect Guide to American History. Since September of 2013, Tom Woods has been putting out his own show, The Tom Woods Show, every single weekday, which means he's racked up about 1,200 episodes so far. His guests include folks like Ron Paul, Judge Andrew Napolitano, David Stockman, and hundreds more. Great topics, or terrible topics, depending on how your perspective, but interesting discussions about the Federal Reserve, net neutrality, the FDA, Austrian economics, and other subjects of interest to libertarians. You can find The Tom Woods Show online at tomwoods.com or search for Tom Woods Show in your favorite podcatcher. As we continue here, we've been talking about authority and nationalism, and we actually had a caller in the last segment who sounded like he was one of these legal theorists who may have actually put some of these theoretical, beliefs into action. We could have continued to interview him about that, but I want to make sure we have time to get everybody else on the line here and talk about whatever they want. But I am genuinely interested in hearing from people who have had actual experience putting these legal theories into action, because from what I've seen, they generally don't work. And if they do work, then it's likely something that you can chalk up to complete happenstance, total chance that, a judge threw your case out or something like that. Maybe they just didn't want to deal with you or whatever. And if that could work even somewhat inconsistently, I think that would be better than nothing. right? So I'm not necessarily against these theories, but there needs to be some evidence. Somebody needs to put their feet on the ground, get out there, and do some documenting of this stuff so they can, one, show people how to do it, and two, show that it could be duplicated. And that has yet to be shown. In my book.
I've talked to several judges about this. Lots
Really?
and lots of two judges that I can think of off the top of my head that I've talked to about this, and lots of attorneys about this, because I presume that attorneys and judges are taught the same sort of stuff. And obviously, somebody who believes this stuff is going to say to dismiss these conversations as
of course they're going to tell you it's not going to work.
Yeah, as counterintelligence from the enemy or whatever.
Well, because the attorneys are ultimately sworn to obey the court system.
But
I mean, they're officers of the court.
Roundly, they say one of two things: either "What? I have no idea what you're talking about," or which is the most common response, or B, "Yeah, that's just a bunch of nonsense." And they seem as, their delivery's as good as one could expect. Looking at them, it looks like they're trying to give me their best advice that this is a bunch of hokum.
Well, I don't know, because our former co-host Jay Noon actually does drive without a driver's license and has for his entire life. He doesn't have a social security number. So, I mean, there are some people out there that really do live this lifestyle. In fact, I actually, just by chance, Mark, I had a video pulled up for the last few days
to drive without a driver's,
about this.
Wait a second. Driving without a driver's license is one thing. Being free is another thing. And
well, he already admitted that it doesn't make you free. I mean, he claimed if you're free, they'll target you.
Well, I would like to be able to drive, thanks very much. So, and I'd like to drive.
Well, Jay drives without a driver's license.
I'd like to drive without, being harassed by the.
That's impossible.
The blue light gang out there.
Well, that's what they're out there for, is to harass you and collect revenue. Let's go to your calls and thoughts here. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE. We go to Ryan in Greenwood, Indiana, listening to WIBC FM. Hello, Ryan.
Hey, how's it going, guys?
Good, you're on the air.
First off, I just want to say appreciate you guys being on and giving people a platform to be able to get on, speak their mind.
Thank you.
But I wanted to talk about, the Pledge of Allegiance and, kind of the meaning or, feelings behind that.
Okay.
So when I think about the words that are in the Pledge of Allegiance, obviously I believe in, freedom and, justice and, all of that. But at the same time, it's talking about, basically the Republic demanding that you pledge your allegiance, to them, which is kind of, I feel like, a contradiction.
Absolutely.
Of freedom and justice and, all
and
of
a republic.
So,
I mean,
yeah, I mean, exactly.
A liege, allegiance is given to your liege, your king. And
exactly.
That basically, that kind of fidelity says that you will fight for him. This is what vassals did. They had their little serfs. Serfs were never asked for fidelity. Serfs were told, you will obey or you will die. That's
exactly
what it comes down to. And ask yourself, ladies and gentlemen, is that what you're told on a relatively regular basis? You will obey or you will die. Because really, when it comes to any law that's out there, the death penalty backs it up.
Well, that sounds pretty extreme, Mark. What do you mean by that?
You don't pull over, they'll kill you.
Well,
it's a speeding ticket, but they'll kill you.
Yeah, I mean, but guys, my real thing is that kind of getting to the root of the problem. I feel like, at least, is just division in general. It's obviously been around forever. It's what our nation was founded on.
You mean seceding from from the king?
Right, exactly.
Okay.
But I just feel like it's so ingrained into our lives and our history. And don't get me wrong. Like I have an American flag hanging outside of my house, and I love my country and my countrymen, and
But do you love the government? Do you love the government?
No, I don't love the government.
Right.
The government. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that I don't appreciate things that government does, but at the same time,
What, like build the roads?
Control. Well, I mean, obviously, infrastructure is nice. I mean, we need to have those things.
Are the roads really nice there in Greenwood?
Well, I got to be honest with you, they're not too great.
Okay, they're not great here either.
Right, the one thing the government has is roads, and they mess it up from across the country. To defend the government based on roads is kind of a weak defense, considering they hire other companies to make the roads anyway.
And pay them
the
too much.
government's just an just a gang that collects money, skims some off the top,
a lot,
and then builds your road, and then doesn't maintain it.
Yeah, a whole lot.
Yeah, and then acts like you owe them something.
Right.
Why don't you love us?
Ryan, anything else you want to share tonight?
Buddy, in all honesty, just going back to division, I just feel like, everybody talks about, wanting freedom for everyone and equality for everyone. But
No, they don't.
I just feel like...
No, they don't. Wait. People don't talk about that. People want freedom for themselves. They don't want freedom for everyone. They don't want freedom for their neighbors. They don't want freedom for the weird guy down the street. And what they don't understand, that's true, I'm the one topless here. What they don't understand is that when you don't allow others to be free, you will end up being controlled. It's just the nature of things. And as long as people, whether they be Americans or New Zealanders or whatever, as long as human beings have the desire to control their neighbor, we will never be free. Never.
Well, exactly. And that's why, I mean, obviously, as much as I appreciate our flag, everybody has a flag. The states have their flags. All countries have their flags. And those are signs of division. I mean, that's what they are.
Yeah.
So, again,
and it's artificial division as well, by the way. I mean, again, it's all based on nationalism, which is this concept that just gives politicians power over other people. Great call, Ryan. Thank you for making it.
Yeah, I'm probably 4 hours from Montreal here. I'm supposed to love people in San Diego more than I love people in Montreal. Makes no sense.
It's ridiculous. Yeah.
I don't love any of them. I don't know them.
Look, division is natural, okay? When groups grow, they end up splitting. That's just kind of the way humans are, but national borders are completely human-imposed from the top down. It's Free Talk Live.
Does your dog itch, scratch, stink, or shed like crazy? Come to Dynavite for help. Order a 90-day supply of Dynavite. Pick up 2 bottles of Lico Chops, get the 3rd bottle free. New improved Lico Chops with omega-6, omega-3, vitamin E, and now 6 extra direct-fed microbials. Even better for the digestive tract and immune system. And dogs love it. Try Lico Chops. Buy 2, get 1 free. This is Henry Lukasevic for Dynavite.
DINOVITE.com.
Are you a cryptocurrency advocate? The Crypto Tip is the ideal outreach tool to help new people discover cryptocurrency. It's a printable business card-sized tip that you can give to service providers, preferably in addition to a good cash tip. When the server scans the QR code, it'll bring up an explanation of cryptocurrency, how to install a wallet, and allow them to claim the tip. If they don't claim the crypto, you get your tip refunded to you after a time period you specify. Plus, if they do claim the tip, you get an email alert. Create as many tips as you want at cryptotip.org. That's cryptotip.org.
I'm David Hall, founder of Diamond Gusset, where we're proud of our 100% grown and sewn American-made jeans. Whether you're out for dinner, working on the farm, or on the road, Diamond Gusset Jeans offers a full spectrum of styles and sizes for any occasion. To find yours, visit gusset.com. That's GUSSET.com. Our loyal customers enable us to continue sponsoring Liberty media outlets like the one you're listening to. In Liberty, David Hall, Diamond Gusset Jean Company.
Hunters, anglers, campers, and survivalists. Get back to nature. Expand your horizons with the highest quality, most versatile, unique slingshots and sling bows on the market at slingbow.com. Slingbow products are compact and models start from just $17.98. They're perfect for your bug out bag or storing in your vehicle. Give yourself and your loved ones the excitement and tradition of Slingbow, a new frontier in archery and truly modern twist on this primitive survival tool. Feel the thrill only at slingbow.com.
So the protection of life, liberty, and property is what the Free State Project is all about. But it's an effort to move 20,000 people who understand.
It's about demonstrating to the entire country
that, yeah, we can have a free market, a truly free market.
Making it just a freer, great place to live.
It's the world's largest voluntarist libertarian community, and it's only getting bigger.
That's amazing, to be able to move to a place where other people like passionately believe in being free and independent.
What the Free State Project is managing to do, though, is to put their money where their mouth is. Physically getting up across the country and saying, let's go someplace and let's demonstrate the power of these ideas. There's a lot of kind of philosophy that surrounds liberty. There's a lot of thinking about it and talking about it. But here in New Hampshire, people are doing it.
101 Reasons Liberty Lives in New Hampshire, a documentary by Free State Project early movers. Watch it free at 101reasonsfilm.com. 101reasonsfilm.com. Did you know you can watch Free Talk Live during our live show 7 days a week from 7 to 10 p.m. Eastern via our studio cams at cam.freetalklive.com? Plus, you can chat with other listeners while you watch, all totally free. Now that our live video stream is hosted by YouTube, our video archives will be online even faster. So be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Listen, watch, and chat all free at cam.freetalklive.com. That's cam.freetalklive.com. So you've signed the Shire Society Declaration and are planning your move to New Hampshire to be around more liberty-oriented people. Next, sign up for the Shire Society Forum at forum.shiresociety.com. There are a bunch of people there who are already in the Shire, and they want to meet you. If you're already in the Shire physically, you should also come by the forums. Remember, not everyone uses Facebook. New people are signing up for the Shire Society Forum every month, so drop in and say hello at forum.shiresociety.com.
Help get LRN.FM into more ears. Visit promote.lrn.fm for a free bumper sticker, flyers, banners, graphics, and more. Promote.lrn.fm.
Free Talk Live. It is the live Saturday edition of the program. As always, you can join us here. The toll-free number, 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. We also have Discord, where you can jump in our Discord on-air call-in line rooms over at discord.lrn.fm. It's Ian and Mark in the studio with you tonight as we continue with your calls, your thoughts about what you want. We go to Robert. He's in Nashville, Tennessee. You're on Free Talk Live, listening online. Go ahead, Robert.
Yeah, you mentioned you like people who... Can you hear me?
Yeah, we got you.
Okay. You mentioned you like people who drive without a license, and I've been driving without one for a few years now.
Excellent. So you had one, but then you got rid of it?
No, it just expired and got suspended. And I just don't... I can't stand in line. I can't do it.
Okay.
You know? It's ridiculous. You go sit there and pay and obey for permission to drive. I'm 48 years old. I know how to drive. I don't need permission.
That does bring a really great point up, is that those people are like, oh, don't have a driver's license. We'll have crazy people who don't know how to drive on the road. I mean, wait a second. Do you think that this little plastic card in my pocket makes me a good driver? Because it doesn't.
Yeah, right. Your license expires and then you hit a tree, right?
Right.
Yeah, I always joke that they, blindfolded monkey could pass the driver's test. I mean, it's so easy.
Well, I mean, teenagers, they're passing it all the time,
Right.
and they don't know how to drive.
People who are clearly, demonstrably unqualified to drive get driver's licenses.
Right.
So how's it been going driving with no license? Give me some stories or whatever you want to tell us.
Well, I get pulled over all the time. I never give them my driver's license. They ask me for it. They say, let me see your driver's license. And I say, well, I can't do that. And they usually go, well, why? And I say, well, it goes against my moral principles. If I obey you, it'd be like condoning violence against a peaceful person.
Indeed.
Can you explain that?
Well, I mean, if I obey right away, he says, give me your driver's license, it would be like giving him jurisdiction over me. It'd be like letting him be my master. I can't obey.
What's he say to that?
Well, they're usually stunned for a minute, but then they get curious. They're like, what are you talking about? And I'm like, well, it goes against my moral principles to obey. Shut up, buddy. And it ends up in a conversation where I've gotten a couple cops to actually quit their jobs and one of them to take early retirement.
Really?
Well, I
they
guess the problem with this is that when you get a cop to quit their job or take early retirement, you have gotten then the cops that could be converted to, peace, freedom, and personal responsibility. You've just taken them off the police force. Thanks.
No. I quit doing that after about a year or so because somebody had mentioned that, then someone else was just going to fill their shoes. So now what I do is I get them to just leave peaceful people alone. And they usually thank me for it and shake my hand. I
want video.
Yeah,
I want video. I want
I
to
got
see
video.
You really?
I got a bunch of it.
Yep. Well, send it to.
No, you don't have to send it anywhere. Are there links? Is it online? Is it on YouTube or something?
No, they're in my hard drives buried in my truck somewhere.
Can you put it on YouTube? Because this would be amazing footage to watch somebody just tell a cop, "Nope, I don't have a driver's license," and then they don't give you a ticket. Do they not arrest you?
Oh, no. I've had them picking it. I got a license plate on there that doesn't. It's expired registration, and instead of a 13, I used a magic marker, made it into an 18. Right? And a friend of mine, because I drove around with no tag at all, and my friend said, "Well, you're staying in hotels and you're traveling, you could get your car towed."
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I did that. And I've got two corners of the sticker peeled up, one by an Orange County sheriff and one by Osceola County sheriff in Florida. But I stop them before they try to take it. I still have the sticker. They try to take it from me. And I say, hey, how would you like it if I went over there and started picking at your shit?
Oh, sorry, you can't say that on the radio. I appreciate the call here tonight. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE. Sorry, it was zero tolerance policy for certain words. We just can't let them go on the air. As much as I would love to, he was obviously passionate about the subject that he was discussing. And
indeed.
I do hope that he puts those videos online because there's so much mythology surrounding this. There's so many rumors and there's so many claims and so little proof out there for these claims. I'm not doubting him, but I want to see the proof. Because I don't doubt Jay Noon. We know Jay. He sits here in the studio with us, and he really doesn't have a driver's license and doesn't have a bank account and doesn't have a social security number, and he lives that lifestyle. But there needs to be more documentation of it for the people out there to know how difficult this lifestyle is. Because as he did point out, he was pulled over a lot by the police. So you do have to kind of know your stuff. You do have to have some confidence. You have to have some experience, or of course you got to gain experience somehow by doing it, but it would help to gain that experience if you could learn from the mistakes of others and the experiences of others. So I hope that our caller there will put his videos online and then let us know once they're available so we can talk about them and we can check them out. Let's continue here with your calls and thoughts. We've got John. He's in Richmond, Virginia, listening to WNIS. Go ahead, John.
Hey, gentlemen.
Hey there.
I heard you earlier arguing that World War I and World War II were basically not Germany's fault, but they were pressed into World War I and especially World War II, I guess, because of sanctions maybe or something were put on them, and it allowed someone like Hitler to become a leader. So
I think he's referring to what you said, Mark, earlier about World War I and the U.S. involvement leading to the rise of the Nazis.
Sure. Let me restate it just for those that didn't get a chance to hear it, is that because of the United States' intervention in World War I, it tipped the tables. It was going to be a dead heat. It was going to come in. Everybody was losing. It was a bloody slog. And essentially, at some point, they would have come to an armistice of some sort or another. United States intervention with 1 million fresh troops put on the ground by Black Jack Pershing, then tip the tables in the favor of the Allies, France and Britain, who then are very, very bitter at this point, and for probably reasonably good reasons. Then they, at the Treaty of Paris, they put Treaty of Versailles, they put these terrible sanctions on Germany. Germany's in awful debt. People are just above starvation. Their currency goes into ruin. All kinds of problems occur. And this is a hotbed for a fascist dictator to take over. Hitler did not get elected, but he did come in second place, and he was made chancellor. He then makes himself chancellor for life, essentially dictator, and we pretty much know the history from there. And as a result, I say Woodrow Wilson, going against his campaign promises to keep the United States out of the European theater, is the one who's responsible ultimately for World War II.
Okay, sorry, John. I had to put you on hold there. You were breathing into the phone. Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, you broke up a little bit. I didn't hear everything you said, but I understand enough to understand. I think that I just want to mention: are you excusing Hitler? If you were, and Hitler killed all the Jews that he killed, are you saying that this evil man was the fault of America and Woodrow Wilson, and it was not his own evilness that killed all the Jews and wanted to take over the world, and might have been able to figure a way to do that even without the sanctions and that?
Probably not.
Are you blaming America just for everything because it just fits in your category of hating, thinking that everybody else is good, or our enemies are always good? What? We're the ones that make them mad and make them evil. We made Hitler evil, is what you're saying?
No, the state.
What are you trying to say?
The state is an organization of violence. That's what it does. It claims a monopoly privilege on the use of violence in a given landmass. Hitler claimed that monopoly privilege for himself, and he used it in a horrifying and terrible way. He's responsible for his action. I will point out that there is not a case of Hitler killing a Jew. Every one of the Jews, the 6 million that were killed, and quite possibly higher from the numbers that I've seen, were killed by people who are just doing their jobs.
Just following orders.
Just following orders. So,
and they bear responsibility for those actions, too.
They bear responsibility for saying, yes, the laws of this state are important, and we will follow the laws because they are the laws. We will do what the government says because people in power are good. We believe in Mein Führer. We believe in the fatherland. We believe in Lebensraum. And we will kill for it. And really, they're responsible for that. But sure, if you go back in an alternate history and you say, if this hadn't been done, then that wouldn't have occurred, then you can say, wow, if the United States didn't get involved in all these foreign confrontations where, it gets involved in Russia and then it turns communist, it gets involved in China, it turns communist, It's like there's a pattern here.
John, thanks for the call tonight. I appreciate it. Toll-free number 855-450-FREE, 855-450-3733. And if they hadn't turned away the Jews in the United States, then maybe none of them would have been put to death.
Imagine how great this country would be.
Have you experienced the miracle of CBDs? They can help you reduce suffering, reduce stress, help you sleep better, modulate inflammation in the body, and is absolutely safe. Meta Hemp Solutions offers a radically innovative approach to CBDs for exceptional results. Stop suffering and reduce your stress now. Isn't it time for a good night's sleep? Stop worrying about tomorrow today. Lab tested for potency, purity, and is non-psychoactive. Free shipping to all 50 states. Try our product risk-free, money-back guarantee. Use code GCN15 to get 15% off. That's code GCN15 to get 15% off. Offer ends soon, so visit MetaHemp Solutions today at metahempsolutions.com or call 833-858-7500. Suffer no more. Get rid of the stress and sleep better. Get our product now at metahempsolutions.com. That's metahempsolutions.com.
The new 4th edition of Healing Our World, The Compassion of Libertarianism, will take your understanding of liberty to a deeper level and has over 1,300 updated references, new cartoons, and a foreword by Dr. Ron Paul. With discounts for multiple book purchases, the 4th edition of Healing Our World is a great gift for the liberals, pragmatists, environmentalists, and Christians in your life who think libertarianism is cold-hearted. Get yours today at healing.freetalklive.com and use promo code FTL for a $5 discount. Did you know we've taken our LRN.FM telephone listen line to a new level with the LRN.FM audio on-demand line? Now you can call 712-770-8447 anytime and listen to LRN.FM's live feed. And you can listen to a bunch of our original shows on demand. Long-distance fees may apply. Just dial 712-770-8447 and choose from the menu. 712-770-8447.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 3 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
From Keene, the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Daryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Saturday, August 25th, 2018. Silver is trading at $14.82 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,206 per ounce. Zencash is trading at $20, and the average price of Bitcoin is $6,711. Antiwar.com reports the recently founded rebel group, the Military Command Council for the Salvation of the Republic, CCMSR, has reported that they attacked Chadian troops along the Libyan border earlier this week, routing them and forcing them to withdraw. The CCMSR seeks to overthrow the DB government in Chad. The movement has a number of former Darfur rebels in its ranks, as well as allies of former President Habré. Habré is serving a life sentence in Senegal for crimes against humanity. CCMSR says that the attack took place on Tuesday morning and that the army forces fled in total disarray, leaving behind sheep carcasses and heaps of food. They did not offer any casualty figures. Chadian military officials offered conflicting statements. The security minister denied that any rebel attacks had taken place at all, while other military officials were quoted by Reuters as confirming fighting had taken place without providing any details. When you hear the word lobbyist, you probably think about greedy corporations, but not all lobbyists are the same. Some are fighting for the freedoms you hold dear. Liberty Lobby LLC is doing just that in New Hampshire, working hard to represent you, not some special interest group. You can help by going to libertylobby.info, where your contribution will give us the tools we need to ensure that your voice is heard. Visit libertylobby.info today to find out more. UPI reports President Donald Trump on Friday said he asked Secretary of State Mike Pompeo to cancel his planned trip to North Korea, saying he does not believe efforts to denuclearize the peninsula are going as planned. Pompeo was scheduled to travel to North Korea for the fourth time next week to discuss plans to end Pyongyang's nuclear weapons program. North Korean leader Kim Jong-un agreed to end the program during a June meeting with Trump in Singapore. Trump wrote in a series of tweets Friday afternoon, "I have asked Secretary of State Mike Pompeo not to go to North Korea at this time because I feel we are not making sufficient progress with respect to denuclearization of the Korean Peninsula. Additionally, because of our much tougher trading stance with China, I do not believe they are helping with the process of denuclearization as they once were, despite UN sanctions which are in place." In 1999, Darrell W. Perry began a search for traditional values, which led him down a path to the ideas of liberty. He tells the story in A Rebel's Journey, My Path to Liberty. Of the book, Dr. Brian Sovereign says, "Sometimes it's funny, and sometimes I think it's crazy, but it's always authentic." Find A Rebel's Journey, My Path to Liberty by Darrell W. Perry on Facebook, read reviews on Amazon, ask for A Rebel's Journey wherever books are sold, or visit arebelsjourney.com. Reuters reports University of North Carolina police charged 3 people in connection with toppling of a Confederate soldier statue on the Chapel Hill campus, according to an official on Friday, as the school braces for another on-campus rally over the weekend. At a rally earlier this week, protesters used a rope to pull down the statue known as Silent Sam, erected in 1913 to honor soldiers of the Confederate States killed during the Civil War. Each of the 3 people faces misdemeanor charges of riot and defacing of a public monument, according to University police spokesman Randy Young. Young added that the 3 are not affiliated with the University of North Carolina. A police investigation may result in additional arrest. The incident was part of a movement to dismantle U.S. Civil War symbols that critics say glorify the South's legacy of slavery. Many Americans see statues such as Silent Sam as symbols of racism and a glorification of the South's defense of the institution of slavery. Supporters view the memorials as important symbols of American history. The university said in a statement on Friday that it expected a rally on Saturday on campus and in town, and it was working with local officials and local law enforcement to ensure safety. The university said, "We do not know for sure what groups may attend, but we are mindful that the current atmosphere is highly charged, urging people to stay away. Some students and others have received threats because of Monday's events." The university police reviewed video on Tuesday to identify the protesters who toppled the statue. The UNC board chair, Harry Smith Jr., and President Margaret Spelling denounced the toppling of the statue. UNC system board member Tom Goolsby said in a statement on Thursday that the university will reinstall Silent Sam within 90 days as required by North Carolina state law. Campus police arrested at least 1 person at Monday's protest for wearing a mask and resisting arrest. That person was not among the 3 people charged with toppling the statue. This has been FPP Radio News, online at fppradio.com.
Saying that he has no idea what to make of the mixed signals, area man Pete Summers told reporters today he keeps getting ambiguous text messages from local woman Haley Mueller, claiming that she's not at all interested in him.
One minute she's like, I don't want to go out with you. And then she'll mention how she has to go hang out with her boyfriend. I mean, what am I supposed to do with that?
Summers, who first met Mueller at a friend's party last month, informed reporters that the 27-year-old's increasingly perplexing text messages have left him unable to ascertain whether or not she would want to date him. He also noted that Mueller's behavior at social gatherings was equally vague.
Last weekend, we were at a party, and every time I would go up to her, she just said, "Leave me alone." Then I text her the next day, and she totally doesn't even respond. I mean, she just needs to make up her mind and tell me what she wants. She hasn't answered my last 3 phone calls, so maybe I should go over there and make sure everything's okay.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
This is Free Talk Live. You can take control of the airwaves by dialing toll-free. Our number here is 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. And we've also got Discord. The Discord on-air call-in lines are available to you over on our Discord server, which is a place where you can go and chat with other Free Talk Live listeners, some of the hosts of the show, over at discord.lrn.fm. With you tonight, it's Ian.
And Mark.
We're going to continue with your calls and thoughts. We had earlier talked about the Pledge of Allegiance, some controversy surrounding it in a Florida... Was it Florida? Anyway, Atlanta charter school where they had rescheduled the pledge from the morning gathering that they have for the entire school to later on in the day, and we're intending to make it more of an option because some people were opting out of doing the Pledge of Allegiance, and I think that's great news that people are opting out of the pledge. Maybe people are starting to see through this vision of sort of government, pro-government
They're
statism.
not opting out for that reason, Ian.
No, why are they opting out?
This is Atlanta. They're opting out because they feel like some portion of the population's out to get them.
That's why they're opting out of the Pledge of Allegiance?
That's what my theory is, yes. This is the same. This is a carryover, the Black Lives Matter, Kaepernick taking a knee, these sorts of things. I support their right to do it. However, I'm of the opinion that what separates us in the world isn't the amount of melanin in our skin.
No, I agree. I totally agree. I mean, we're all individuals. I mean, you're jumping to a conclusion. You don't know why they're not saying the Pledge of Allegiance, but
it
regardless,
isn't some wave of principled libertarianism. Ian.
No, I wasn't suggesting that it was. But as far as I'm concerned, whatever their reasons are, I'm happy that people aren't saying the Pledge of Allegiance.
I'm not happy that anybody does anything for bad reasons. I'm not happy that they do good things for bad reasons. I want people to do good things for good reasons. And that's really all I'm in this for. So you should have good, solid, logical reasons for everything you do in life.
Mm-hmm. Well, you don't know what their reasons are until you ask each individual why they're not saying the Pledge of Allegiance. So we'll just leave your speculation right where it sits and go to your calls and thoughts here. Also, further, the school, unfortunately, then made things worse by creating their own pledge that was like a pledge to the school family, I think they called it, in the community, and the so-called global something or other. I don't have it in front of me right now. We're going to your calls and thoughts here. Let's talk to Jim in Indianapolis, listening to WIBC FM. Hello, Jim.
Hey, good evening, guys. How's everyone doing?
Hey there. What's on your mind tonight?
Well, I've got an opinion that I'm sure is probably not going to be too popular, but I listen to the show quite a bit, and I enjoy it. I'm definitely all about everyone having the right to have their own opinion and reasons. And listening to the show tonight, the first point I wanted to make, the gentleman, you guys, I think, ended up having to cut him off because of some language issues.
Yeah.
I have to really doubt that the guy is converting police officers to believe that the laws are arbitrary and not worthy of being upheld. I think
it's a big claim. I mean, you're referring to the guy who doesn't drive with a driver's license who had called in the last hour, and he actually did make that claim, which is pretty unbelievable. But
I can tell you this, though. If you run a nationally syndicated radio program for any period of time, you basically either have to come to one conclusion or the other. Everybody's an idiot and everybody's lying, or you kind of have to take people at their word for what they say. And
absolutely,
you know,
and I'm not saying the guy's an idiot. I don't know the guy from Adam, but I can tell you I spent most of a career working with and training with police officers, the vast majority of whom are dedicated men and women who want to give back to the community and make the jurisdiction that they serve a safer place. Are they going to always agree with the laws that they uphold? Not necessarily. I think there are some laws that are arbitrary, but it doesn't say anywhere in the U.S. Constitution we have a right to drive a vehicle. It is a privilege. And I just have a lot of doubt about police officers just turning the other cheek and letting this guy drive without a license or even without a license plate. I mean,
I agree with you. It's unlikely. However, I would disagree that driving is a privilege. I would say that if the governments of the municipal governments of the world want to tax me and use my tax dollars to build roads, that I therefore have a right to drive on those roads if they tax me for them. That's not a privilege. That's a right.
Can you show me in the Constitution where it says we have a right to operate a motor vehicle?
Constitution doesn't make rights. The Constitution's very clear that it doesn't enumerate all the rights. But I can tell you this, that if you steal my money at the point of a gun if necessary, and you use that money to build a road and then you talk about rights, you give yickety-yak to rights, then by God, I got a right to that road because you used my money for it, right?
Okay, well, possibly. But what about the maintenance of that road?
They're taxing me for that too.
Are you saying that your taxes take care of all of the roads in the country? I mean,
no,
again,
I said I was specific.
If you even read most of the state driver's manuals, it talks about the fact that it is a right. It's not a privilege, even granted by the states that you're in.
The state driver's manuals would not say it's a right. They would say it's a privilege.
It's a privilege, correct.
Okay, you got it reversed.
It's a right. Nowhere in the driver's manual, and I apologize.
I know.
For that. Nowhere in the driver's manual.
Of course, the government's going to tell you that.
Right. The government's populated with liars and thieves.
Okay.
And the liars and thieves say that I have a privilege to drive, so they can therefore charge me lots of money to do so.
Right. And by the way,
I understand the notion.
By the way, as long as you pay for gas in any old state in the union, you're paying for the roads there. You understand that, right?
Yeah, I do absolutely understand that. I'm an educated individual.
Right.
To the point where, as I said, that takes me to my second point. I heard someone, and I was kind of shutting the radio off, so speaking to one of your folks there that take the calls and screen them initially. So I didn't hear all the conversation, but it sounded like there was some reference to a police state or something of that. There was some discussion about Hitler not killing any Jews or anything, and I'm not going to go that deep, but I think in today's society...
Go ahead.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Nobody said anything that Hitler didn't kill Jews. That did not get said here, obviously.
Please, go ahead.
Somebody said...
I think what Mark said was that Hitler didn't do the dirty work himself. He had people do it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sure. But then I hear a lot of conversation about how the United States has become a police state. There's a lot of people that like to compare things going on today with Nazis or the Holocaust.
Yeah.
I've heard people talk about some things.
I'll make those comparisons. Sure.
I
don't think there's comparisons.
I think there's some room for common sense there. Do people agree, as the most part, with everything going on in the United States? Absolutely not. Does that mean we're a police state and
What would make you believe that you were in a police state?
Yeah, what would have to be happening for you to be in police state? What would have to occur on a regular basis?
Well, I think first and foremost, it would be a strict reduction of rights. As Americans, we have a lot of freedom that other people don't have. If you look around the world, we enjoy a lot of freedoms to travel at our leisure, to go where we want to go.
There are already internal checkpoints operating. There was one operating this week here in New Hampshire on I-93 in Woodstock, where the Border Patrol set up an internal checkpoint and stops every single car going through. So you do not have the freedom.
That's the question they're asking. They're asking the one question: are you a United States citizen or not? It's a simple yes.
So because they don't, because they don't say "papers, please" in a German accent, it's not. So because they don't say "papers, please."
They don't restrict your travel.
Yes, they do.
Yes, they do.
Whoa, mister. You
have
try
you
to
ever
travel.
been through one?
You are dead-ass wrong, okay? I've been through one of these, and I said, do you have reasonable, articulable suspicion that I've committed a crime? And they said no.
That doesn't mean you're correct.
Wait a second.
He's still talking. I don't think he listened to a word you said. I had him on hold.
I went through one of these checkpoints. I said, do you have reasonable, articulable suspicion that I've committed a crime? They said no. And I said, am I being detained? They said, yes. I said, how can you detain me if you don't have reasonable articulable suspicion? They said, 'cause we can. That's a detention, man.
And as I said, you can disagree. That's what it's all about.
I'm not disagreeing.
Disagree with what?
Now you sound like a Democrat, okay? Like, let's be serious here. Okay. This isn't let's agree to disagree. I was stopped and they would have shot me if I didn't pull over. That's not agreeing to disagree. That's deadly force, right?
Yeah, and to act like, oh, it's no big deal. It's just one question. They just ask you one little question and then they let you go on your way. What's the big deal about that?
As long as you have your papers, you are free to travel.
Thanks for the call, Jim. The toll-free number here. You just lick that boot, okay?
I'm not saying I'm not saying that it doesn't have to run this way. I'm just saying that you got to look at it, and the parallel is there.
855 450 free like freedom. This is Free Talk Live.
Zencash has changed their name to Horizon to better represent their transition from a cryptocurrency to a pioneering platform that protects consumer data. They're working towards the day when anyone will be able to build privacy-based applications on the Horizon platform and generate income from them. This will allow Horizon to bring thousands of real-life services to the community, services that provide freedom, utility, and privacy. Learn more at horizon.global and join the Horizon community. HORIZEN.global.
What's more profitable, running your business or doing bookkeeping? Doing your business, of course, but you want to keep your books so that you can maximize your tax savings, right? What if I told you that there's a person that's a bookkeeper, accountant, and law school graduate that's also a hardcore libertarian?
My name is Melanie Johnson, and I hate the state. I will aggressively help you to minimize your tax exposure and maximize profits, all while staying within the law.
Melanie's your best choice for your taxes and bookkeeping needs. Go to tax.freetalklive.com and check out our website, tax.freetalklive.com.
Do you operate a retail business and are looking for a solution for point-of-sale cryptocurrency acceptance? It's never been easier thanks to AnyPay.global. There's no paperwork or approval process to open an account. If you already have a tablet at your cash register, you're almost done. Just sign up at AnyPay.global, drop your personal crypto wallet addresses in our setup page, and then load our app. That's it. You're accepting cryptocurrency like Bitcoin and Dash at your store. Get started now at AnyPay.global. That's AnyPay.global.
The Bitcoin.com wallet is a simple and powerful full-featured wallet that allows you to send and receive Bitcoin, BTC, and Bitcoin Cash, BCH, with anyone, anywhere in the world. It supports both single and multi-signature wallets and is available in multiple languages. The Bitcoin.com wallet is available on Windows, Linux, Mac, Android, and iOS devices. Use the Bitcoin.com wallet to buy, send, store, and receive both Bitcoin, BTC, and Bitcoin Cash, BCH. Learn more at wallet.bitcoin.com. That's wallet.bitcoin.com.
If you're looking for work, the person you are applying to is probably so swamped with applicants that he or she is tough to reach. So call early in the day, before 8 a.m., before the palace guards arrive. You'll need your prospect's direct number, and here's a sneaky way to get it. Suppose the company's main number is 555-5000. You should call 555-5012. When someone says, "Good morning, Pam Johnson," you should innocently say, "Oops, somebody here must have written this down wrong. I was calling for Tom Frederick. What's his direct number?" If the very next thing you hear isn't Pam giving you Tom's number, it may be, "Good morning, Tom Frederick." For more tips for job seekers and getting better results in all your day-to-day communication, hit survivalspeech.com. I'm Holland Cook.
If you want to know the latest about Free Talk Live before we go on the air, all you need to decide is how you want it delivered. It's your choice. Visit news.freetalklive.com. You can get emailed announcements and participate in contests via our email updates list. Plus, we have a Twitter account that you can follow and a Facebook page where you can become a fan. So visit news.freetalklive.com to get news about Free Talk Live as soon as it's announced and the way you want it delivered at news.freetalklive.com. That's news.freetalklive.com.
Cell 411 is a free app for Android and iOS that replaces government-controlled 911. Cell 411 allows you to preset a group of friends or private organizations to show up in any emergency. Cell 411 is a nightmare for the state because it proves their so-called services aren't needed. Cell 411 has had thousands of installs, and of course it's covered by the BIPCOT no government license. Cell 411 because your friends won't shoot you when you're in trouble. Without the government, who would build the emergency services? You and Cell 411. Get it today at getcell411.com.
Some of our live shows are streamed in HD on Twitch. Please follow and share at twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
It's Free Talk Live. Live Saturday edition of the show. You dial toll free. Join us on the radio here. Take control of the airwaves with you tonight. It's Ian.
And Mark.
As we continue, we'll take your calls and thoughts about what you want. I do want to let you know that we are now on Mastodon, which is the decentralized alternative to Twitter. And we're still kind of getting everything set up behind the scenes to see, how best to post to all these different systems, Facebook, Twitter, Mastodon, because Free Talk Live now has accounts on all three of those systems. And so if you want to follow us on the decentralized platform on Mastodon, you can join or follow us by going to toot, T-O-O-T, toot.freetalklive.com.
If you've never heard of Mastodon, it's just that all the cool kids are using it. That's all.
It's pretty new-ish, I guess, within the last couple years.
Not kids. It's the computer geeks, the people that are concerned about privacy and these sorts of things.
Yeah, also the people that are concerned about censorship.
Yeah, censorship.
That's what's really driving people to Mastodon. Is you've seen the headlines recently about people being banned from Twitter, I'm sure. Alex Jones, for instance, and others banned from Twitter for having opinions that differ from the Twitter admins, basically.
Differ from mine, too, but that doesn't mean that I don't support his right to say it.
Sure. Well, I mean, I don't even know what exactly we're talking about at this point, but people have been banned for different reasons. And ultimately, if you have a decentralized version of Twitter, which is what Mastodon is, because each person or whoever wants to can run a server if they want to, that means there are now like hundreds, or I don't know how many there are. There's a lot of them. There's a lot of Mastodon servers out there. So somebody launched one for libertarians, and I decided, all right, we've heard about Mastodon. Let's give it a try. And so there's now a Free Talk Live channel in which we post things like our show prep and maybe special announcements from the hosts of the show. So if you want to follow it, go to toot.freetalklive.com.
And I don't want to censor you, but I do want to censure you. In the last segment, you said something about, this is like Nazi Germany. And
what is like Nazi Germany?
The United States, like now, is like Nazi Germany.
No, I wasn't saying it was like Nazi Germany and that there are death camps or anything like that.
You have to be very careful with this, right? Like, so that's what, when we use rhetoric, and that's what we do here, you do not want to give people the wrong impression. You certainly don't want to arm your enemies with bad quotes. So I would suggest that you try to avoid statements like, this is like Nazi Germany. If you
I didn't say that.
If you want to, it was something similar. Like I'll say that.
I said the caller said something about one of you said something about Hitler or Nazis, etc., relating it to the United States, and I said, I'll make the argument that it's similar, and I will make the argument. Checkpoints being set up in your city or near where you live that you have to go through sounds kind of Nazi-esque to me. I didn't get the chance to say that because we were in the middle of the conversation at that point. But that feels like, I'm in a police state, and I would liken a police state to living under a Nazi rule.
Well, authoritarian...
Whether it's National Socialism or not is another question.
Yeah, I prefer the term authoritarian if I can use it in those sorts of circumstances, because that's what it is. I mean, authoritarian regimes like their checkpoints.
Sure.
And, sure.
Did the Nazis have checkpoints?
Yeah, they sure did.
Okay, then. Then it's like that.
At that point, they would probably ask you more things. So what this guy did, and he sounded like some law enforcer.
He did seem like he said he was training,
maybe
with
a trainer
law
or something like that. And I worked with law enforcement for many years, and I'd say many of the ideas around liberty were taught to me by law enforcement officials. I think that they're.
I want to go back to our phone calls here.
I want to do that, but I'm just saying that all he said was, "Hey, well, it was just one question."
Yeah. Oh, regarding the checkpoints?
The checkpoints, yeah.
Well, that's not okay. You're taking away people's freedom to ask them one question. and further threatening them if they don't answer that question. There was somebody here in New Hampshire, a candidate for U.S. Congress, who was stopped at one of these checkpoints, and they told him if he didn't answer the question, they were going to detain him until he did, which is entirely illegal. They're not supposed to do that. They're not supposed to threaten you
Supreme
like
Court,
that.
The Morales case said that he was not detained for an inordinate amount of time. So,
So they attempted to intimidate him into answering their question. So there's much more going on here than, it's just one little question. No, they're stopping wholesale every single car. You cannot avoid this checkpoint. It is on the interstate. If you're on the interstate and you don't know better, then, if you don't know it's on the way coming up, you could avoid it if you knew about it. But if you don't know, you can't turn around.
You're funneled in.
Right. So you can't avoid it. And you can refuse to answer the question, which is what I did. And I had a video camera out as well, and they waved me right on through because they didn't want to have it on record, the abuses that they are conducting at these checkpoints.
Freedoms are rarely protected by those that work for the government, and most often protected by those that you want to hate the most, the protesters, the refusenicks, these kind of people.
Let's talk to Leon. He's in Chico, California, listening online. Go ahead, Leon.
Hey, guys.
Hey there.
Thanks for taking my call.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I just wanted to add a little bit into that whole police state thing. I mean, I feel that we're absolutely living in a police state. I mean, I know I living out here, but I mean, I've gone through checkpoints all the time, especially around holidays like 4th of July, Memorial Day, Labor Day, whatever. They'll set up checkpoints. They pull every single car over. They shine a flashlight in your face. And it's like, have you had anything to drink today? They're trying to catch drunk drivers, which, I mean, I don't agree with, anyway, because, it's like, but yeah, absolutely.
I don't agree in trading in uranium, but they never have a checkpoint for that.
The fact of the matter is, and even the New Hampshire State Police admitted this at the recent hearing, there was a bill this year to abolish DUI checkpoints in the state of New Hampshire. It didn't pass. I don't think it passed the Senate. It passed the House, which was awesome. I didn't expect it to pass the House. But the state police actually came in and admitted that they are more effective when they don't do checkpoints. That they're more effective when they just drive around and look for people driving. When, you notice the drunk weaving in the lane or weaving out of the lane or whatever it is the drunk person is doing, it's easier to detect a drunk when they're actually driving around, and you don't have to just destroy wholesale the freedom of the other people who are on the road in order to do that. Yeah. So they admitted to that. Anyway, Leon, anything else you want to share? Go ahead.
Yeah. Well, I also just wanted to throw a comment in there. You guys were talking about World War I and the U.S. involvement in that. Like, I just wanted to throw in, like, I had read that during World War I, one of the main reasons why we got involved in World War I was because, France and Germany had borrowed massive amounts of money from American banks, obviously. And obviously it's in the bankers' interest for, how they're going to get that money back. Well, that's find a way to get the U.S. involved in that conflict to begin with. So any thoughts that you guys have on that?
How does that get the bankers their money back? I'm missing the connection.
Well, because they, if they're not, if Germany, the banks that gave loans to Germany during that war likely didn't get their money back because Germany just couldn't pay and wouldn't pay. Ultimately, you have to ask a state. A state has to be willing to pay it back. The winners are going to be much more willing to pay back than the losers are. I wouldn't doubt it. I haven't looked into this. The sort of the economics behind warfare and how they affect the final outcome is fascinating to me. But most of the writings on things that go boom and fly around or whatever.
And Leon, thank you for the call tonight. I appreciate it. We got more time for you if you want to dial in here. Toll free 855-450-FREE 855-450-3733. Join us here on Free Talk Live.
Hunters, anglers, campers, and survivalists. Get back to nature. Expand your horizons with the highest quality, most versatile, unique slingshots and sling bows on the market at slingbow.com. Sling bow products are compact and models start from just $17.98. They're perfect for your bug out bag or storing in your vehicle. Give yourself and your loved ones the excitement and tradition of sling bow. A new frontier in archery and truly modern twist on this primitive survival tool. Feel the thrill only at slingbow.com.
I'm David Hall, founder of Diamond Gusset, where we're proud of our 100% grown and sewn American-made jeans. Whether you're out for dinner, working on the farm, or on the road, Diamond Gusset Jeans offers a full spectrum of styles and sizes for any occasion. To find yours, visit gusset.com. That's GUSSET.com. Our loyal customers enable us to continue sponsoring Liberty media outlets like the one you're listening to. In Liberty, David Hall, Diamond Gusset Jean Company.
Free Talk Live.
I wouldn't snitch them out. I would report them to the police.
Right.
Okay, now
call it what you want,
now,
sir.
many states have laws about carrying firearms, even though their constitutions say that it's legal for everyone to own a firearm.
Like New York State.
There's no way to ban it. Would you snitch out somebody that you knew had a firearm?
If they had it illegally, I wouldn't snitch them out. I would report them.
Right.
I got to say, you're a bad American, Ken.
Yeah, I think you're a scumbag, Ken.
You're a communist.
You're a communist.
I'm a communist because I want people to be able to carry guns like the Second Amendment says.
He'd snitch on the person, and then the cops would come and infringe it for him.
Felons out there carrying guns at will.
I'm a convicted felon. Do you think I shouldn't be able to protect my wife from an intruder?
I don't think you should have a gun.
How am I going to protect myself if the guy has a gun?
There are many other ways to protect yourself than not having a gun.
You should call the cops, Mark, like any good citizen.
That way the cops can come clean up my corpse after it's all over, right?
Free Talk Live, 7 nights a week from 7 to 10 Eastern, live on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
We've all heard about blockchain assets like Dogecoin, Ether, and Ripple. Bitcoin isn't the only player in the blockchain game any longer. And for those of us wondering how to get our hands on these digital assets, finally, there's a solution. Shapeshift.io allows you to buy and sell between your digital assets and Bitcoin instantly between your own digital wallets. I've used it with ease. Shapeshift.io. There's no account or email address needed. You send them the crypto you want to sell. They send back the crypto you want to buy. It's that easy. Shapeshift.io.
Some of you asked, and now we've delivered. LRN.FM's live Keene, New Hampshire studio shows are now streamed in HD on Twitch. Visit our channel at twitch.lrn.fm and give it a follow. If you have Amazon Prime, you get one free subscription on Twitch. If you use it on our channel, Twitch will give LRN.FM a monthly piece of your Prime subscription cost. So please watch, follow, share, and subscribe to twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm. Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm.
Love what we do? Please help support our international satellite channels at patreon.lrn.fm. That's patreon.lrn.fm.
It's Free Talk live Saturday edition of the program. You can dial in toll-free if you want and take control of the airwaves here. With you tonight, it's Ian.
And Mark.
That toll-free number for you is 855-450-FREE, 855-450-3733. We've got a Twitch channel. If you want to watch the show for whatever reason, it's there, and it's in glorious HD quality, 720p, compared to our YouTube channel, which is not HD. So if you want the best possible picture, the Twitch is the way to go. And Twitch is a pretty slick platform for video streaming because they will give you a notification. If you follow our channel, which is twitch.lrn.fm, that'll take you right to it. If you follow our channel and you've got your notifications turned on or the app installed, you can either get email or app notifications from Twitch when we go live. That way you know that we're there, even though you kind of should already know we're there 7 nights a week, lives from 7 to 10 at night Eastern. It's nice to get that little ping to remind you that we're here. So if you really like what we're doing, then please follow our Twitch channel. And thank you to the over 400 people that are following us there at twitch.lrn.fm. And Twitch is a video gaming platform primarily, but they opened up for other kinds of content, and so we are that other kind of content. But every now and then there's some video game streaming that actually goes on our Twitch channel. So again, follow us over at twitch.lrn.fm as we go to your calls here. We go to, actually, let's talk to Jesse. He's calling in from Maine on the Discord call-in line. Go ahead, Jesse.
Hey, guys.
Hey, you're on the air.
Yeah, so I want to talk about something I'm kind of dealing with right now.
Okay.
So I live in LA and I run a side business, kind of like a side hustle, doing iPhone repairs from home.
Okay.
And I've been doing it for about 2 years now, and finally, I guess there's a Bureau of Electronic and Appliance Repair in California that, yeah. So,
there's a reason it's ranked number 48 freest state in the union, is because they've got a Bureau of Electronics and Appliance Repair.
Yep. And I guess they found out about me, or someone reported me, probably. Wow. Who knows? But yeah, they sent me an email saying I'm under investigation and I need to get compliant and sign up for the license. But really, it's just like a money grab. They want
sure it is.
How much?
Right. Are you saying you won't be a better repairer of iPhones once you pay their money and get the license?
Yeah, there's no test they do or anything. It's basically just compliance.
Just straight up obey.
Son, I've read the Constitution. I don't see in there any right to repair iPhones.
Yeah, it's $190. I mean, it's not much
for a year,
but it's, I guess, I think so.
Repairing iPhones is a privilege. You're privileged to be able to repair an iPhone in the great state of California. I think you ought to be grateful.
Right. And that's on top of all the other licenses you need, business license, a seller's permit, to collect sales tax, all that junk. So I'm kind of, I guess I'm trying to debate whether I should even go through that whole process or just keep doing what I'm doing.
Well, somebody snitched you out. It was probably a competitor. Do you advertise anywhere? Or is it just word of mouth?
I guess just like locally on like OfferUp, Craigslist.
Okay.
And then I have a Yelp account. On Yelp, I'm rated like 5 stars. I have like 80 reviews, all 5 stars.
That's your problem.
I have no problems.
Yep.
Yeah.
You do a good job, and the word gets around, then people want to do business with you. Then the guy who's not doing quite as good of a job sitting there with a storefront, twiddling his thumbs in the off hours, is like, I'm going to go find those people who are doing this out of their house and not paying the Bureau of Electronics and Appliance Repair.
Yeah. This price sits on the board.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Oh, these boards are often populated by these kinds of people, by the way. Often people who are right in the industry.
Mm-hmm. So what did they threaten you with? I mean, they're going to hit you with, what is it, X amount of dollars per day fines? Did they actually come right out with the threats in the email?
Actually, no. They just kind of just said that I'm under investigation, and they attached the application and what I need to follow if I am going to be, compliant. There's like all these rules you have to get.
We're investigating you, sir, and we would like you to help us with our investigation by admitting to conducting this activity by going ahead and getting licensed for it. So just go right ahead and jump through those hoops, and we promise we'll be so nice to you from here on out.
Yeah. I've had friends who own shops, and they've dealt with the same thing. Is they didn't even know it existed. And one day just showed up, and they're like, "Hey, you guys aren't compliant."
How would that work if it wasn't the government, right? Like if somebody contacted you out of the blue And they're like,
hey, I hear you repairing iPhones over there.
Right.
It'd be a real shame if somebody came to your house and threw you in jail for repairing iPhone. I mean, that's exactly what it is.
This is.
Because it doesn't come with a cheesy Hollywood Italian accent, and it doesn't have that kind of mafia pinstripe
got a logo.
feel.
They've got a, they're the
all
government.
They are. All they are. All they are is the most successful gang in a given geographic area. It's a cartel of gangs stacked up on top of each other. And just because they don't have the cheap Italian accent there and the silly suit doesn't mean they're not a gang.
So I don't know if, look, I'm not an attorney. I certainly don't know anything about California's statutes and codes and all that. But, it's pretty unlikely that it's considered a legal notice if they're sending you an email. But if they are actually investigating you, then there's certainly a chance that a more legal notice is going to be coming at some point once they figure out where your office is and they, take the time to type one up.
If they have to hunt you down, and they finally do hunt you down, then that's when you're gonna be in trouble. Now maybe you're protected, and if you've got enough protection, enough layers, then you can keep on keeping on. But yeah, and who knows exactly what they're going to do with you if they finally do get an actual letter to you. You could just say the email went to my spam box. Sorry.
Well, you shouldn't
say anything. You shouldn't say anything, in my opinion.
I didn't.
Yeah.
Well, this is once the investigation comes along. Yes.
Yeah. That's a tough call, man. So you're still thinking about what to do? You said.
Yeah. I guess if I go through the whole making an LLC, there's a whole bunch of other crap I have to deal with.
Well, how's that going to change anything? Then they're just going to demand the LLC pay them $190.
I guess this is one question: is what is it? Would it be cheaper to get a PO private mailbox? One of these shipping shack kind of mailboxes, these UPS store kind of mailboxes in Nevada. Have people send their stuff to Nevada and then have them package ship stuff to you from the store in Nevada. I mean,
you're going to pay more for shipping at some point than $190 if he's doing a bunch of business, if he's getting a bunch of phones repaired. Do most people drop off the phones in person, or do they ship them to you?
I do both, actually. So I do a local. Basically, I meet people outside my house. I grab the phone, fix it. 30 minutes later, it's ready to go. But I also have shops across the country
30
mailing
minutes.
me stuff.
That's incredible turnaround, man. That's really awesome.
Yeah.
No wonder they want to go after you.
Yeah, you're just doing too good of a job. You're going to drive one of these poor businessmen that gets it ready by the end of the day. You're going to drive him out of business.
Yeah. A lot of people like coming to me rather than going to the Apple store, because the Apple store you just wait all day.
Oh yeah.
And sometimes they decline the repair.
They probably bend you over a barrel on price too. Now, Jesse, I know you're visiting New Hampshire. You came out to Keene yesterday to our crypto meetup. How has your visit so far been to the Shire?
It's great, actually. Let's see. Yesterday we're in Keene. Today we came to Portsmouth. It's beautiful. But
never shot a gun before. First. He never shot a gun before, and he went out shooting with my roommate, Mark. He went out with Matt Roach. Good times.
Yeah, that was really fun.
And is your wife having a good time as well? Here?
Yeah, she loves it.
All right, excellent.
She's trying to convince me to move here.
Well, you should listen to her. She's a smart woman. Thanks for the call tonight, Jesse. Really appreciate hearing from you. Usually it works the other way around, where it's like. It tends to be males who are involved in the liberty movement, and they kind of have to convince the wife to uproot wherever it is they're from and move to New Hampshire. If you got the wife trying to convince you to move to New Hampshire, I'm sure you can find people with cell phones in the Boston area, right? Like set up shop in Portsmouth or something like that, and then you can take
one of those towns right across the line.
Yeah, right across the line from Massachusetts. All right. Hey, thanks for the call. We'll continue here. Only moments remain. Maybe we'll get you in if you're already on hold. If you're not already on hold, well, you're probably not getting in tonight because the phones are loaded up here on Free Talk Live. But don't worry, we do this thing 7 nights a week. There's more coming up. This is Free Talk Live.
This November, I'll be running the world's biggest and most popular marathon, the New York City Marathon, as a member of Team Innocence Project. The Innocence Project was the first legal organization to systematically apply DNA testing to cases of wrongful convictions as a powerful tool to reveal innocence. So far in 2018, the Innocence Network has welcomed 32 wrongfully convicted people home from prison for crimes they did not commit and had a record-breaking 850 people unite in Memphis at their annual conference. The movement of freeing the innocent and reforming the criminal justice system is growing and would not be possible without your support. Together as 68 network organizations around the world, they've helped exonerate 513 people who spent a combined total of 7,804 years in prison. They've also worked together to pass over 150 laws in the U.S. to help prevent wrongful convictions. You can support the Innocence Project by going to run.freetalklive.com. That's run.freetalklive.com.
Many people write us about their experience with Extendivite. Allow me to read you a few from Amazon.com. By Mel. Great product. My husband and father-in-law use it regularly. Both my husband and father-in-law have had significant change in their blood pressure and overall health. By Amazon customer. It works for me. Returned to buy the tincture and the capsules as they were on sale during February. Unlike some other products, this one worked for blood pressure and occasional irregular heartbeat. Extendivite produced noticeable results after just 2 bottles, a 4-month supply. I take Extendivite 3 times a day, every day. I think this supplement has helped with my increased fitness regime and to lower my blood pressure. Tell us your story. Get Extendivite today. Call 1-877-928-8822 or visit heartdrop.com.
Extend your life with Extendovite.
I've been told no in many different ways.
I give you an order and you're going to obey it.
George, you can go this way. You can't do that and you have to leave here.
You cannot bring signs into the rally.
Walk with me. Well, I'm comfortable here, actually. Whoa, Hey. Who do you think you are? Excuse me.
There is no video and audio allowed in this office.
No, I have work today.
You ain't gonna make it.
Wait on account. Now. Wait a minute.
Whoa. Hey! Oh my God! Unbelievable!
Why are you running from me? Because you're scared me. What am I being detained for?
You're being served.
What is this?
You're being served.
What is this? Bureaucrats have a funny way of telling people no.
That's the sound of the men working on the chain.
Derek J's Victimless Crime Spree. Watch it for free and order the Director's Cut DVD at victimlesscrimespree.com.
Here's a chance to do a little activism while you're cruising Facebook, Twitter, or Google+. Between the LOL cats, the recipes, the hot girls, and the inspirational sunrise memes, Free Talk Live's posts pass by your newsfeed. Like them, comment. It gives us more exposure. If you don't see our posts, click like at facebook.freetalklive.com and then hover over it to click Get Notifications. It's an easy way to spread the ideas of liberty a bit further. I know you're busy, but you can spare that 1/10 of a calorie it takes to click on something. facebook.freetalklive.com.
When you hear the word lobbyist, you probably think about greedy corporations, but not all lobbyists are the same. Some are fighting for the freedoms you hold dear. Liberty Lobby LLC is doing just that in New Hampshire, working hard to represent you, not some special interest group. You can help by going to libertylobby.info, where your contribution will give us the tools we need to ensure that your voice is heard. Visit libertylobby.info today to find out more.
This is the Liberty Radio Network, broadcasting the latest liberty-oriented audio content 24 hours a day at LRN.FM.
Free Talk Live. Moments remain here. If you're on the line right now, we are going to do our best to get you in. It's Ian and Mark in the studio. You can join us online over at freetalklive.com. Got a lot of features on our site. Archives, they go back for years. I mean, more than a decade, and it's free over at freetalklive.com, so please enjoy that. Another great free service through our website, our Discord server. Mark, you were just marveling at the fact there were over 100 people apparently logged into our Discord server.
Chit-chatting away.
Right now, I don't know if all 100 are chit-chatting, but they're logged in. You know, there's lurkers, right? Like people... Probably the majority of them don't actually participate and they
reading
just watch.
The chat.
But they're there. And there are people talking about various different topics. We got different chat rooms, not just about Free Talk Live, but there's one for cryptocurrency. There's one for gaming, talk about New Hampshire stuff going on here. So Jesse, who was just on the line with us on Discord, has been posting like pictures from his traveling as he's been going around New Hampshire. So check it out over at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm. As we go to the phones, to the fun, let's start with Rusty in Woodville, Texas. Rusty, you're on Free Talk Live.
Yeah, howdy, guys.
Hey.
I didn't know if y'all were aware that John McCain has passed away within, I guess, the past 2 hours. I wanted to get kind of y'all's perspective on it.
Well, I'm going to go out on a limb and make a prediction that whoever it is that replaces John McCain will also be a scum-sucking politician.
Yeah, I guess my thoughts on it are that that doesn't matter the power of the person.
Sorry, you guys were both talking over one another. Rusty, go ahead.
Yeah, hopefully his replacement isn't such a warmonger and obstructionist. McCain did vote against the repeal of Obamacare, and then there's a reason he's lauded by the liberal leftists, saying he's the true Republican. I hate to bash the guy when he's kind of down or not with us anymore, but he has a record. You know, there's some things that just don't square with me. But
earlier in the show, I was talking about my relationships with people and how I try to value things like truth, honesty, justice, peace, personal responsibility above personal relationships. That I may not know you, but the first thing I'm going to do is make sure that you're telling the truth on things. And if you are telling the truth, then we can start having a conversation. When it comes to politicians, I don't care if they've just died, if they've been dead for 100 years, or they killed themselves in some remote place in Germany with a shot to the head. I don't care it's what they did in their lives that I'm going to look at and I'm going to talk about. So I'm sure John McCain was a great guy to his kids. I'm sure that his wife loved him. All those. I don't know anything about that. Yeah. I'm just saying I'm sure because that's the kind of thing you say about somebody before you bash them. But I mean, when he went into politics, he's pretty authoritarian, and he didn't seem to find a war he didn't love. And the reason I didn't vote for him in the 2008 election was because he said bomb Iran.
Sick stuff.
And that was enough for me.
Rusty, thank you for your call tonight. I appreciate it. Let's talk to James. He's traveling through Wyoming. James, you're on Free Talk Live.
Yes.
Hey there.
Yes, hello, guys. I just want to thank you for what you do. It's amazing, offering the ability to discuss any kind of topic.
Sure.
I just wanted to quickly tell you that Dictionary.com defines police state as a nation whose rulers maintain order and obedience by the threat of police or military force. What are the American police doing now? Killing, 4 to 5 Americans a day? I think that might come under police state.
Well, it sounds like any country would be a police state by that definition. I mean, ultimately, a state is an organization that claims a monopoly privilege on the use of violence in a given landmass. So if you don't follow whatever the rules are, they're going to send somebody after you. That person's likely to be called a police officer. And that, ultimately, the state claiming a monopoly makes it authoritarian.
Absolutely. And I'm just passing through a town called Rawlins, Wyoming. It's on Interstate 80, and I just like to pull things up as I'm going through towns, and it looks like the police there killed a man from Fort Collins who was allegedly selling marijuana from a convenience store parking lot. The AP describes the witnesses as saying he was shot execution style.
My God.
This man's name was John Veach. He was from Fort Collins, Colorado.
So the cops killed some dude over selling some weed in this town in Wyoming. Allegedly.
Allegedly,
yeah.
Yes, and of course.
Well, it's not alleged that the cops killed him, but it's alleged that he was selling weed, is what you're saying.
Absolutely, and the county attorney, of course, ruled that the shooting was justified, but
of course,
the family has filed lawsuits. So there's hope there, and I just want to thank you guys again for what you do.
You're welcome, James.
I hope your listeners understand what a service you're doing.
James, thank you. Drive safe. Thanks for the call tonight. Appreciate it. Let's continue. My dog Rex on the line in Florida. My dog Rex, go ahead.
Hey, thank you guys for letting me in.
Yes, sir.
I want to direct you to Clint Richardson wrote a blog, Debunking Education, Exposing the Syndicate.
What's that? What's the syndicate?
The syndicate is the school system.
Okay.
Or the education system. And from David Spangler, Director of Planetary Initiative for the United Nations, said or wrote, "No one will enter the New World Order unless he or she will make a pledge to worship Lucifer." So talking about the Pledge of Allegiance, a pledge is a surety or a bail. It could also be the answer to or the guarantee, and for Middle English, it was to risk the loss of or be exposed to danger, or similar to plight.
I'm lost here. I don't know if it's because the phone was kind of cutting out a little bit. You're saying a pledge is a surety? That's one of the definitions of a pledge, and then what?
Surety, bail, guarantee, responsibility, the risk of loss, or exposed to danger. A pledge for the schools, the pledge is the praise of a thing, as opposed to religion to God and the laws of nature. But you're pledging your heart and your soul and your body
in service of the state, in service of the idea of the government.
Right. So it's a training. I look at it as a training for future soldiers or future mind-numbed robots, like Rush Limbaugh would say. But it's training your children as young and when they're very influential,
impressionable.
Yeah. I consider it
to obey.
It's pretty obvious. I mean, that's pretty clear. If you're going to take kindergartners, 5-year-olds, and start making them say this little prayer to an icon, essentially, you're trying to achieve something. Like, what are you trying to achieve? And
brainwashing.
Right. This is not a form of brainwashing. This is not a form of brainwashing. I mean, it's
standard
amazing.
Brainwashing is you repeat the same thing over and over again.
You repeat the same thing over and over and over again, and then ultimately people will defend it themselves. Then you don't need to defend it any longer.
What's been happening all night tonight?
Right. I mean, that's what's going on. And to me, I'm with the Amish and the Mennonites and the Hutterists and the Quakers when they say that this is, to me, it's a false god. It's an icon for a false god. That there's only one entity to whom I will pledge allegiance, and I cannot pledge allegiance to two. So don't ask me to pledge allegiance to your God. Thanks.
Thank you, my dog Rex, for the call tonight. Appreciate it. Let's talk to Michael in Virginia Beach, listening to WNIS. Hello, Michael.
Hello. Listen, you're off the air here, and I would love to hear your response.
Hang on, I can't talk to you right now. You're way too loud. It's probably not your fault. There may be something on the board that needs to get tweaked down, but or you can back away from your phone. One or the other. You can back way away from your phone. Your choice.
Okay. How's that now? Is that better?
Not much better, but maybe back further away, and then try again.
Okay. How about that?
Go ahead.
All right. You're off the air here at the WNIS. I'm calling from Virginia Beach. I would like to hear the two of you respond to my comment and question. So please don't hang up as you normally do.
Well, we're going to have to because
you got 1 minute.
We're short on time. You don't even have a minute. You got 20 seconds.
Okay, well, I've waited for 2.5 hours to say this. I believe that the Bible is true and reliable when it says that Jesus Christ is the Messiah of Israel who will rule the world with a rod of iron. I think that puts the two of you in a whole lot of trouble.
I want to know more about what you're saying, but we don't have time for it tonight. So if you want to call in tomorrow or Monday, you don't have to call when we're live on WNIS because we're only there on Saturday nights. Feel free to call in any night of the week, 7 to 10 at night Eastern Time.
Jesus can call in, too, if he's got anything to say.
We'd love to hear from Jesus. Yep. Tomorrow, you can join us in the meantime at freetalklive.com.
Free Press Publications is an independent, alternative media and publishing company founded in June 2009 with the mission of ensuring a free press for the freedom movement and is committed to spreading the message of peace, freedom, love, and liberty. FPP also gives new authors an avenue for publishing freedom-oriented material. FPP brings you daily news and commentary on the website fpp.cc, as well as a daily 5-minute newscast, FPP Radio News, and weekly news, views, and commentary in the FPP Freedom Minute and Peace, Love, Liberty Radio at fppradio.com, and the monthly newspaper FPP News at news.fpp.cc. Find FPP online at fpp.cc. That's fpp.cc, as in Creative Commons.
Are you a cryptocurrency advocate? The Crypto Tip is the ideal outreach tool to help new people discover cryptocurrency. It's a printable business card-sized tip that you can give to service providers, preferably in addition to a good cash tip. When the server scans the QR code, it'll bring up an explanation of cryptocurrency, how to install a wallet, and allow them to claim the tip. If they don't claim the crypto, you get your tip refunded to you after a time period you specify. Plus, if they do claim the tip, you get an email alert. Create as many tips as you want at cryptotip.org. That's cryptotip.org. So you've heard all 3 hours of the latest episode of Free Talk Live, and you're still hungry for liberty-oriented audio content? Did you know that we have another 24/7 audio stream at LRN.FM? The Liberty Radio Network airs the latest episodes of some of the best